All right, hello and welcome everybody to another episode of the Team Next Level Quad Pod. I'm joined by Marilyn, Rich, and James. What's up, folks?
Hello.
Hi.
It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me.
Yeah, I think we can all agree with that. In honor of T-Swizzle being in the tri-state area this past weekend.
Exactly.
James, did you get your kids' tickets?
No, I bought a tri-bike instead.
Yeah, I heard it was a good show, but kind of crazy. So, how's everybody doing? We're all doing good?
Yeah.
Tired.
Tired?
Yeah. Long weekend.
Yeah, it was a big weekend of training. We're getting down to crunch time. Two things this week. We're going to talk about Eagleman, which is coming up in, by the time this comes out, probably we'll be doing it, but we're within 10 days of Eagleman, our first kind of big goal for 3 out of the 4 of us. And then we're going to talk about speed. This is all about that pace and trying to find every last watt that can be saved with all the technological goodies that there are out there. So, but first we're going to talk about Eagleman. How's everybody feeling? Ready? Excited?
Wait, so did we start taper?
No. I was going to ask who's tapering when for those doing Eagleman.
Well, I knew the answer because I've been looking at my training this week. I was like, wait a minute. I thought 10 days was like the ideal taper. But then I also I missed a couple of weeks of training. Yeah. So
and this is not your A race, right?
Right.
So
this isn't the big one for the year. So.
Sort of forced to taper early because I'm going to be away this weekend. I'm going to try to get the long ride in tomorrow and long run in Friday.
Nice.
And then,
well, you can get some swims in, right?
And then, well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Then get some swim in on Saturday. And then after that, just start tapering.
Yeah. Yep. I'm going to roll through the week and then start resting for next week, Monday.
Yeah.
Monday will kind of be the beginning. I'm not going to do 1 week sort of rest into the race based on where my fitness and training and stuff is at. I don't think I need more than that. And then keep things going into the summer.
I've enjoyed the long, easy runs over the weekends that we've been doing. But then when I saw another one this weekend, I was like,
one more.
I was like, when did the beating stop? Because
this is the last one.
October.
Yeah. And then I realized, I'm probably going to this time I'm not going to stop coaching this time. I'm going to go right after this, right into, I'm going to hold it through Wilmington, see what happens. But it will be nice, I guess, once, I don't know, we have a little break again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Finish the race, take a week of whatever you want to do or nothing. And then
do some gravel rides, mountain biking.
Do a little bit of base work again and then build it back up. So, yeah. So how are we feeling mentally for 70.3 of the year?
So I want some time predictions,
oh,
James.
Yeah,
what do you think your time's going to be?
I'm excited.
Well, I got these new dark smoke mirror goggles.
I got the same ones.
And I noticed when I switched, so I got the regular mirror and then the dark smoke, and I put on the mirror at the pool this weekend. I was like, oh my gosh, everything's so clear. Because I didn't realize how worn out my other ones were. Everything was always blurry. So I'm like, oh, if I can actually see on the swim, maybe I could shave a couple minutes off.
A couple minutes, you think?
I think that it's not how you talked about the accumulation of stress. Like you get up to a certain point, and once it gets over, you just can't. So I think not being able to see just adds on to that stress. So if I could just keep that stress level down, then maybe I could swim closer to what I'm doing in training. Yeah,
because your pool swims are looking very good.
Yeah.
So it's just being able to do that. Hopefully, like if the stress is down, I get the warm up swim in. And I think the way this course is situated, because it used to go in reverse of what it was. And I think it was that when you would go out and then make a left, you swim into the sun. So now I don't think we have to swim into it because now it's clockwise.
Well, that's good.
You go out and make a right. So I don't even know if there'll be that much sun glare, but I'll bring both goggles.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a game time. Because, it could be cloudy. Who knows?
Yeah. So it's a long answer to time prediction.
Yeah. I know.
And we've only gotten to the swim.
Your total time, let's say.
5:47 and 31 seconds.
Okay.
Mark it down.
We got to write it down.
5:47:31. Yeah.
It's on the record.
It's on the record. It's official.
Oh, yeah. We have it on the thing.
Yeah, it'll be recorded. And if I don't do it,
then you don't do it. That's it.
I will shave my legs.
You should shave your legs
You
before.
don't have any
If
hair.
you want the 547.31, shave your legs.
It's true. I'm going to shave them
Oh,
anyway.
teaser. That's coming later.
Yeah.
How about you, Rich? You've been training good. You've been a solid progression. Like,
I've
it
been
looks
solid.
good.
I'm excited about this race. I think for me, the prediction kind of goes based on weather. If it's going to be hot, the run is going to make me suffer.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to have a decent swim, and that's been going. I'm transitioning the time that I spend in the pool now to open water so that I feel really comfortable there, and then hit that pretty well, and then hit the bike hopefully consistently on a flat course.
Yeah.
And the run will be kind of up in the air depending if it's hot. It's good.
How's the weather
gonna
been?
be
over-
tough.
It's been gotta
It's
be
been- if
cool,
it's
right?
like this,
It's very similar to what we've had.
Yeah.
yeah, if it's like this, it should be all right by the time we get to the
Mhm.
run. If it's like super hot, it'll be difficult.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I want to update my time. If it's hot, I'm going to say 6 hours, 59 minutes.
Yeah.
It's
What?
an hour and 3 minutes.
No.
The heat factor.
Yeah. The heat could be a thing. I mean, when you look at right now, the 10-day forecast doesn't get us to race day yet. It looks like the highs are going to be like right around 75 to 80, but that's not until they're not hitting their
That's
high
not until
temperatures
later.
until 3 o'clock in the
Yeah.
afternoon. So warm, but not brutal.
Right.
You might have to dial things back a little bit, but not, I don't think to the point where it's going to really affect things.
Hopefully it's not humid.
Humid, yeah.
The
Sometimes
humidity,
humidity's
if you
worse.
when you like, I mean, granted, I can see until Friday, and I look, so I can see Friday's predicted weather, and it looks like as the heat goes up, the humidity goes down. So you're looking at like that muggy morning in the low 60s, high 50s, and then it just gets warmer, but the humidity burns off. So decently good racing conditions, it seems like. I mean, I think it'd be nice if it was maxed out at 70 or 68 or something like that, but
You've raced in hotter than that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
something to
And
be
got
aware
under
of,
6.
aware of, but not brutal.
Yeah.
And Greg?
How about you?
I think the big thing, honestly, for me is wind on the bike. Like, I think that's going to play a big role on how close I can hit. Like, I kind of know the powers that I can hold and the speeds on a flat, windless day that's going to result in. But if it's windy, like, who knows? Because I don't know where the wind's going to come from and how much that'll slow me down. I think I'm going to be somewhere in like the 5:20 to 5:15 range with like a 34 minute swim. I haven't been swimming much, but the swim, like, my stroke is still there. I just have to take it easy so I don't dig myself a hole for the rest of the race. So 33 minute swim I'd be okay with. 34 minutes would be okay. 2:30 on the bike, and then something close to 2 hours on the run is kind of puts me in that neighborhood. So we'll see. Training's going okay, but the fitness is in a good spot. So I'm happy with that. So
Can't wait to track you guys. It's going to be fun.
And yell at us.
Yeah.
from far,
Run
from
faster.
afar, we'll have to have a whole episode
Just
for
text
your
us
race.
directly.
I know.
Just record
You'll
yourself.
finish the race and I'll have a bunch of texts.
I'll leave you the mixer. You can just sit there and record. Live stream from the tracker.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's too late, but I'm going to change up something with my nutrition.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I just bought the Power Bar IsoActive.
The drink.
The drink.
Uh-huh.
It looks pretty solid. So I figure it's probably pretty similar to just taking in their hydrogels because electrolytes.
Yeah.
And you said you could use it as hydration or nutrition.
Yeah. So where are you going to put that?
That's going to go in my hydration system.
That big
And the-
thing you've got?
So I'll do
Speed fill.
speed fill will be electrolytes, and then I'll do in the little torpedo. I'll put in the IsoActive with an extra bottle of IsoActive in the back
And
to
And
refill.
how many, like,
So no
carbs,
hydrogels on the.
I might carry a flask of hydrogels on top of it. I got to calculate how much I can jam in.
Okay.
Because I forget how many. 1.5 scoops or one scoop is 100
Yeah, it wouldn't
calories
surprise
or
me if
something.
one scoop is 25.
And it's like 25. So
Yeah.
it depends on how
So
much.
are you going to make like a strong mix in the bottles?
I guess so.
Okay.
Because I think last time I did cis beta fuel,
Beta
maybe.
fuel?
So it's probably,
Yeah.
a similar ideology. Because that was like 7 or 8 scoops. Or it was like,
It was a lot of stuff.
you put a
How
lot
many
in there.
grams of carbs and how many calories?
Yeah.
I got to calculate that out.
So
Yeah.
beta fuel is 320 calories, so 80 grams per sachet or so per contain thing that goes in there.
And that's a full bottle,
That would-
24
yeah,
ounce.
you're
80
supposed
grams of carbs.
So 80 grams per bottle.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with my tried and true. I'm going to have like 10 gels in my back behind the seat bottle. And then the only change I'm making is last year I raced with like a 35 ounce water thing, fuselage, whatever you're like in between my arms.
Mm-hmm.
And I switched to just a bottle cage in between the arms. And I'm going to that's water. And I'll just put whatever water comes, like the cage is one of those good X-Lab Gorilla cages that can hold like a Poland Springs squeeze bottle that they give out on the course. So I'm just going to do that.
Just water in that?
Yeah, because there's enough. I'm getting enough with the hydrogels. I'm getting enough electrolytes from the 10 hydrogel. That's 2 grams of salt in 10 grams.
But are you getting enough calories from the?
Mhm.
How many do you need? How many?
I'm going to try and take in 400 to about 500 an hour
Calories.
So 4.
So
gels.
100 to 125 grams. Yeah.
Oh, and
Half
you're only planning on being on the bike for 2.5 hours.
Just
Yeah.
under half
Okay.
a bottle.
Got it.
Yep.
Got it.
It works out. The math works.
Are you going to try your new stuff this weekend?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See what happens.
Cool.
I don't think there'll be anything upsetting in it. It's pretty,
No, there shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's exciting. It's going to be nice to just get away for a couple days, and race day is always fun. So looking forward to it.
Yeah.
You guys leave Friday and come back when? Sunday?
Monday.
Monday.
The race is Sunday.
Race
Yeah.
is Sunday.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited. Friday off, take my time, get there.
Yep.
I think last time I did the race, I worked, I think, the morning and then drove.
Yeah, you got there late
Yeah, I
for
got there
Muscle
late.
Man.
And I think I had, and then left race morning, I guess. I didn't stay.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Did I?
You left with
Yeah,
us.
we went. Yeah,
We went out to dinner,
yeah.
sat in the back of Rich's car, recovered.
Oh, yes, that's right. I did leave the next day. Never mind.
He doesn't even recall.
All right.
So anybody out there listening who wants to follow along, we'll be racing Eagleman. My name on the tracker is Greg Keller. Then you got James Coe and Rich Flom.
Well, by
Flom
the
or
time they
Flom?
hear this,
Either way works.
What is it? I always call you
I-
Flom.
Flom works.
Is
No.
it Flom?
In Russian, it's flom.
Oh,
Oh.
Flom. Okay.
Flom.
In
Flom.
Okay.
English, it's
So if
flom.
you type it into the
No,
tracker,
Flom.
make sure you pronounce it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. And then Marilyn, you got Mont Tremblant 2 weeks later, so you got about 3 weeks left.
Yep.
You're right in the middle of that.
So while we're sitting with our legs up in the air, just chilling, we're going to be watching you climb mountains.
Yep. Yeah, and we're
You're
recovered.
so
yeah,
ready.
you guys will be recovering.
You're so strong on the bike right now.
Thank you. Yeah, I like to think so. We'll see.
You only have one goal:
What's that?
destroy Yale.
Yeah.
I wonder if he listens.
Yeah.
I don't know. He already told me I'm going to smoke him. So,
Then you got to do something even worse. I don't know what.
yeah, I don't know. I told him that's
Are
no
there
fun.
any
You can't
friendly
say that.
bets placed on the race or no?
Between he and I?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Unfriendly
No, we'll
bets.
see.
Mean bets.
We'll see.
Are you nervous, excited, worried?
No, I don't. I'm not nervous usually. I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it 'cause it's supposed to be beautiful. So I'm excited to be there and like be in the race and see all that. But no, I'm not nervous really.
Have you scoped out last year's times in your age group?
I did a while ago and they're good.
They're good.
Yeah. I don't think
What was like the best?
I don't remember. I did when I first signed up. I have to look again.
Okay.
Kind of see where I'm at now.
So I think I know your.
Yeah.
yours.
I always look. Yeah, but I haven't looked in a long time. So like I
Okay.
can't compare now where I would fit in. But
Okay. All right.
yeah, there's a lot of good times at Mont Tremblant.
What was a good time there?
Oh gosh.
Like
There was like
fours?
4s. Yeah. hmm
For women in your age group?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe 5. Yeah, I got to look again. I don't remember honestly.
All
But
right.
yeah, there were some fast times.
Okay. Get your work cut out for you.
hmm
The run is as hilly as the bike?
No. Like I think 400.
Yeah, it's not
elevation,
super hilly.
400. No, it's not. It's
Putting in-
that's what I do, you know.
Oh, yeah.
on a
So people are putting
weekly
out
run.
fast times on the runs.
Yeah,
And
I
it's like
guess.
supposed to be a deceptively fast bike course. Like when you look at the total elevation, you're like, wow, that's hard.
lot.
But it's supposed to be great roads, lots of like false flat, so you gain elevation, but you're only at 1 or 2%. You can carry that speed, and then like coming down those things, you're flying.
Right.
So
I think you have to be good at knowing when to shift and how to shift. Like that's probably important.
and how to dial in, like how to carry your speed up and over some of those rollers and stuff like that. Like when you can put out more power and when you need to dial it back. So
Probably should be as aero as possible.
yeah, I think it's one of those things you want to be tucked in the bars, even like when you feel like you're climbing and slugging along. But if you're at like 13, 14 miles an hour, it's better to be in the bars, in the aero bars. So that leads us into the topic for tonight. Yeah. And that is, what are all the things we can do to make ourselves faster in our races? These are all pretty much ways to buy yourself time, I guess, right? There's not too many.
Well, it's funny because they call it like free speed.
Yeah, it's
but
far from free.
Yeah.
And we have not broken this down into like cost per dollar, or savings per dollar with how much time you get, which would, there's some things that are very cheap fixes and save you a bunch of power and time, and others that are ridiculously expensive for what you get. But we're going to talk about pretty much all of them.
Should we save maybe bike for the last, since it's got the most?
Since it's going to take us the most time?
Probably.
Yeah, because the other ones are quick.
Pretty quick. All right, so swim, obviously, the biggest thing is what?
Wetsuit.
Yeah, for sure. So wetsuit is, James, you have this number here. This sounds very specific. 3.7% performance increase at distances over 1,500.
1,500 meters, sorry.
At 1,500 meters, and 6%, so even more savings at 400 meters, I guess, because you're going faster, right?
I don't know. I forget what the study was. Why was that? I don't remember anymore. I don't even know why I'm talking. But there was a difference.
Because you're 1/4 of the quad pod.
A lot of things seem, well, not a lot of things, but some things that I read seem to be the slower you are, the more you save. Is that the same for a wetsuit?
For sure. Yeah.
Kind of fixes some of the drag and your feet sinking.
Right.
All those sinky issues go away with the wetsuit.
Right. So the big thing is body positioning, your buoyancy, which then reduces drag.
Yeah.
Plus the texture, or like the smoothness of the suit itself.
Right. So I guess like everybody's going to get that textural benefit from the suit. Everybody's going to save that. But then a competent swimmer who's got good body position to start with isn't going to get that benefit of the buoyant legs. They're not going to get that reduction in drag. So therefore, the slower swimmer is going to could get huge benefits from a wetsuit.
Do I have to buy a really expensive wetsuit to get that savings?
To get the full saving, there's definitely a difference in quality of the wetsuit and the finish on the outside. And then like you've said, like the wetsuit with arms on them. Full sleeve wetsuit is faster than a sleeveless wetsuit.
Is that why all the pros use it?
Yeah, no doubt. Like the material on the outside is better, smoother than your skin is moving through the water. So the more you can cover up with it, the better. But that's where you really get what you're paying for, because those more expensive suits are going to be designed to give better shoulder mobility. They're going to have different types of material in different parts, like different thicknesses, different brands, even of neoprene rubber and stuff like that. Like they put the engineering into those suits. But I mean, the suit that apparently is like the hot suit right now that everybody's wearing on the pro field is that the De Boer Fjord 3.0.
Yeah, it's new, right?
Yeah, it's a $1,500 wetsuit.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, everybody is in that suit.
I'm gonna tear it the first time I put it on. My
Used to be
fingernails,
Hoob, right?
Hoob is still is a good one. You don't see that too much here in the States. I think that's a British brand. But a lot of I don't know about Orca. You see it, but I know, like, honestly, any of the top end suits you buy from Blue 70, Roca,
Roca's a good one.
Those are what?
Body glove.
Stay away from the surf wetsuits, the scuba diving wetsuits.
Totally
those
different.
Totally different. Those aren't being made to be flexible or fast. So, if you see people and you race what you got, but like, I don't know, those might actually make more drag.
Yeah.
Because the outside is usually like a nylon material, so it's super rough. It's not going to be a fast.
And they're not as tight, I feel like.
Yeah.
Right?
They're not as flexible. Like if you want a triathlon wetsuit, you need to, or for a wetsuit for triathlon, you need to buy a triathlon wetsuit. There are inexpensive ones out there. The Xterra ones are if you pay full price for an Xterra wetsuit, something's wrong with you. Because
I don't think they let you.
I don't think so.
I get an
They
email.
don't let you.
I'm pretty sure
Like,
that
no.
timer, when
Daily,
it
if
runs
not
out, it
weekly.
resets.
Yeah.
And sale starts again.
Right. Yeah.
There's a discount every day
Yeah.
or every other day.
Yeah. It's like, what's that close? Land's End, right? If you
Yeah.
pay full price for Land's End anything, you're an idiot. So,
Sorry, whoever just paid full price.
right.
Like the one window of time when there is no
When
sale.
there's no sale.
Yeah. So wetsuit is huge, as long as you're allowed to wear one.
So we did our first open water swim this season last week, and I noticed something for me. Usually I'm slower in the open water versus the pool because no walls and whatnot. But I really think my form broke down a lot just not being used to being in the wetsuit. So I think my biggest gains in the pool right now have been just I always think of myself making myself really long when I go out to reach, and that's been like the biggest thing, just getting long and then very streamlined. And I think with the wetsuit last week, I was just like
Fighting that.
my stroke cut really short. I wasn't pushing or pulling all the way through. So I was like, oh my gosh, I got to like relearn how to swim in a wetsuit now. Otherwise, I feel like the 3.7% I could get is actually a loss because I'm just not.
I felt the same. Mine wasn't. I felt the same.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna
Yeah.
be like flying.
Yeah, and
Yeah, like there's a thing to me that swimming in open water is just a different thing than swimming in a pool. Like, and I get it. You're not always in open water. At least around here, you're almost not at all in open water. So, but when you get in open water, it's like a totally different experience. You're like relearning those same things that you worked on in the pool takes a little bit of getting used to.
Yeah, because at the pool, I don't even have to think about where I am.
Yeah.
So it's I just focus on stroke, and I could see, like I kind of see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And when I
In
can't
the lake,
see anything,
you can't see anything. Yeah.
Stroking, currents. Sometimes there's a little bit of a wave, so you get a little bit more.
It was
like,
foggy
up
when
out
I
of the
was there.
water.
Couldn't
Yeah,
even see. Exciting was hard.
yeah.
So
Getting used to it is important.
Yeah.
do as much of it as you can, but wear the wetsuit when you're allowed. And if you're not allowed to wear a wetsuit, a swim skin
Makes you so fast.
well, not faster than a wetsuit, but they're good. They're made out of some kind of hydrophobic material, compressive. Have you gotten yours yet, James?
It just came in the mail yesterday. I didn't open it.
Today.
Did you
yeah.
put it
Came
on?
today.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't even open it yet because I probably
How
shouldn't
do
have
you
bought
do
it.
that?
I don't know. What am I
Oh,
doing?
you're hiding it still?
Yeah.
Got to sneak it into the house
Yeah.
after everybody's asleep.
It was on really
Well,
good
it's out
sale
in the
though.
open now.
The sale ends today, I think. I thought I saw something about an email.
Yeah, by
Sale
the time
extended.
by the time this gets published, it'll be long gone.
Yeah.
You didn't hear it from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the swim skins are good. I got one a couple years ago, and that's one where like you're not going to get any lift from it. It's literally just drag reduction, and it can be a pretty decent drag reduction over like a tri-suit because the tri-suit is not made for. I mean, they're okay for swimming in, but they're not like designed with that in mind. Most triathlons are going to be wetsuit legal, and you're going to have something over them so they don't. They're going to have pockets and little stuff like that. They're just not going to be as fast as a swim skin. So
I don't know if it's the races I picked, but over the decade of racing that I've done, I think only one race was not swimsuit, not wetsuit legal.
Yeah.
NJ State?
NJ State, yeah.
Oh, wait, no, you broke your butt.
yeah, you didn't do
I didn't do
NJ
NJ
State.
State.
That would have been 2 then.
Yeah.
Well,
Last year for White Claw.
Eagleman, isn't there a chance that Eagleman will be?
There is. Looking at the forecast, though, again, there's never a day that, like this week, tomorrow, and the next day, the high is like 81 or 82 or something like that. But then all next week, the high is like 78. So it's if the temperature doesn't get over 78, the waters shouldn't be able to, unless my understanding of
I don't know.
I think like in
How
order
that
for the
happened.
water
And
to
how
get
sunny
really
it is
warm,
too,
it has
right?
to be
Yeah.
consistent
No.
sunny for like a
What's
while.
the temperature right now? That's what you guys got to check.
yeah, it's worth. I don't know, but it could be. It's usually a day of decision. Like it
Yeah.
bounces back and forth.
But I was joking around before. I'm pretty sure because I bought a swim skin,
It's
I've
gonna be
guaranteed for everybody
wetsuit
it will be wetsuit legal. So that's my luck.
Yeah. Then another thing. This one is free, and that's being able to draft while you swim.
And that saves a lot. Like if you can get on someone's feet in the wake,
Mhm.
then you're saving a lot. Like you're saving, I've heard up to 20, 30 percent of your effort to just kind of stay in someone's fast wake?
Yeah, I don't know if it's. I mean, it might be close. James has got, what do you have, 15 to 25
Yeah, 15 to 25% energy savings, and I think it depends though.
on our speeds.
Also, where in the draft, like you could be off to the side or
Mhm.
directly behind, and
Right.
then what distance apart.
Yeah. I think to get the best draft, you need to be on their feet and almost like annoyingly on their feet, which is difficult to do because they're sighting, they're moving, and you're trying to stay with them, usually in murky enough water where it's hard to see what they're doing.
You don't want to just be tickling their toes the entire time.
Yeah, unless it's somebody you know, which
Go
you know.
faster, please.
Yeah.
I've only found one person that kept the same speed the whole time.
I've
Yeah.
Like
never
it's they usually do it for a little while and then they'll pull
Yeah.
back or
Yeah.
whatever.
I was able to do it at Independence 2 weeks ago, and it was great. It was on the second lap, so like by that time the speeds had kind of normalized. Like so, it was somebody that I had been swimming with for a while, and then they were going just a little bit faster, and I jumped on their feet and stayed with them for the last 300 yards or so, and it was great. You could definitely feel it, but you had to be right there. As soon as she started to pull away, I could feel that elastic snapping.
Yeah, with the groups that I'm in, I'd be afraid that person's just also drafting to the left or to the right. Just not
Well, I
going
mean,
to
you
the
still have,
buoy.
I still have to sight
You still have
and
to
keep an
sight,
eye on
yeah.
where things are going. But it is worth trying to do. Or even like, and I'm guilty of this. Like if we're especially with like the rolling starts, like I try and get out of the way and just swim in my own line, not have people in my way. It's probably more efficient from like a drafting perspective to move through a group of people
Yeah.
than it is to just go 10 yards left of them and go on your own.
Yeah, but because it's self-seated, you might end up behind someone who is slow, and then
No,
you
what
have
I'm
to go
saying is
around
like
them.
most of the time people seed poorly, and like they think they're one kind of swimmer and they're a different kind of swimmer, and so like they're going slow and I'm swimming through them. Like if that's a big group, it's better for me to just swim through the middle of that.
Yeah.
Than it is to go off to the side on my own and try and go the same pace. It's going to take more energy to do that on my own without
So
the
as
draft.
you people are getting drowned out there, just know that's Greg swimming
Yeah.
Well,
through
I'm not
you.
going to swim,
They swim over.
literally swim through them, but I think you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know.
I've done it and through groups and stuff where just people are all over the place.
Rich Flum, that one time we went swimming together at your lake,
the
I
lake.
accidentally
Swam over me.
drafted behind you, and I didn't realize what I was doing, but I felt like the water just felt lighter.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and like
It was
I want
easier
to say
get
bubbly.
through.
I don't know how to describe it, but it just was.
That's the feel.
I was
It's like
whoa,
in the
what is
wake of
this?
a boat just pulling
Mhm.
kind of you.
And then I
along.
accidentally-
You are
think
getting kind of pulled along. You're
Mhm.
not breaking that fresh water right in front. Like it's a thing.
But then I got nervous. I was going to touch his feet and bother him, so then I
He actually
slipped
likes
out.
it. It's okay.
Well, if I knew that,
Tickle, little tickle.
but then
Yeah.
it's like I felt
I don't have to check on you, make sure you're still there.
Yeah.
too close to his foot. I was like, I backed off, and then he was just gone. I was like, but I was like, wow, that was a cool thing. I don't think I could ever intentionally do that at my skill level yet.
Yeah. I think it's something you have to practice.
It's hard
Yeah,
to
it's
find
hard.
And you have to
someone.
have someone who's a very similar ability, and like you can practice it together.
I saw you and Koichi at the lake. You guys were swimming. Were you guys swimming? You guys were
didn't-
like right next
We
to
didn't
each
mean
other.
to, but
It looked pretty cool.
at
though.
one
I saw you
point
guys.
we crossed over. Like I was in front of him, and then I started making like a left at the one turn, and then all of a sudden I ran into him, like not on purpose, but like somehow on this gigantic lake we just
You
like
crashed,
crashed into each other, and I was like, oh, this is kind of good. Like I get that feeling
Yeah.
of I ran into
Yeah,
someone.
I thought you guys were doing it on purpose.
Synchronized swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I think that we should actually practice.
Yeah.
Everyone go together and just try to stay together as much as possible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if you don't stay directly behind the person, even staying like on
Side
their
by
hip, side to the side, a little bit behind them, you're still going to get a little bit of a benefit.
Is there an equivalent to like an elbow flick for someone to take the lead when you're drafting off them in a swim?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Come on.
No, that's a good
That's the
question.
you
You
tickle
take
the toe. You tickle the toe. It means move forward. I'm coming. My turn.
From the back.
That would be our signal.
Just between you guys. You're too special.
Yeah.
Anything else on the swim?
I don't know what
Well,
else.
I mean, people wear like half mask goggles, but they don't really reduce anything.
No, if
in
anything, they
terms
probably
of-
add to it.
Like those goggles online when we were waiting for
Yeah,
independence.
that's what I mean. They don't really affect your
and
drag that much.
swim caps, they help, I guess, but
Yeah.
you have to wear it
you
anyway.
have to wear it
so
in a try,
Mhm.
so it's not
I don't wear them in training, but
right.
Oh, I hate them.
Me neither.
it's too hot.
I just don't like the feel of it. Yeah. but in a race you have to, and everybody has to wear the same one, so there's no benefit there.
Shaving your face?
Maybe. Definitely has to be.
Maybe. I'm not getting rid of my goatee. I swim half a second per 100. And that's the thing. Like when like you go on
saving yourself 3
I don't shave
seconds.
his legs.
we'll get to that. But like when there are goggles that are designed and caps that are designed for like being more hydrodynamic and stuff, but you're talking like hundredths of a second over 100, which is like in a pool that does matter. In
the
open
Olympics
water,
or something.
right? In open water, it just doesn't add up to. It's too marginal of a gain for the kind of race.
Would growing your toenails really long?
Yep, for you. Yeah,
Sure.
you should do that.
It's like a weapon if someone
Yeah.
swims
Yeah.
up behind you.
Might
You're not going to tickle that toe.
You might get in the way of your
like
foot tickle.
And I'd like
Freddy
to see you.
Krueger.
I'd like to see you put on your wetsuit with your long nails.
I have a method, tried and true method that seems to work.
Plastic bags.
No, I put it on inside out.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
And I feel like people look at me like, what are you
It
doing?
works really
Wait,
well.
does.
what? You put the wetsuit on
I
inside
turn it
out?
completely inside
You got
out.
that from Yvonne, didn't you?
No,
You
I
turn
figured
it
out myself.
completely inside out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I put my feet in, and then I can grab the
just,
neoprene or like the inside, which doesn't tear.
Yeah,
and
you
just
fold it
pick it
out.
up.
Yeah.
The only problem sometimes I forget, like, wait, does the zipper need to be in the front or the back? And I'll do it, and then like the zipper's in the front. I'm like, oh shoot, I did it wrong. And I have to take it all off
Yeah.
again.
But it's so easy. Mm-hmm.
Because then you could tug on that
I
thing
do
like
the
crazy.
bags.
Yeah, I don't. I just get in my wetsuit.
I'll
Yeah.
show you guys
Wow.
next time.
I know.
I got to
lube,
see this.
the
I do the same
whatchamacallit
thing.
stuff.
I did it.
We got to
when
do
were
a
at
video of
Independence.
this. We have to do a video of this.
It works.
It works so much better.
Maybe it's a novice thing.
Mhm.
I don't know.
You just kind of fold it up.
Yeah, I just kind of get in.
I use the
I could never
body
just
glide.
get in.
The thing that took me the longest is to zip myself up.
Mhm.
That took the longest
yeah,
to
I
learn.
still can't
See,
do
I
that.
I like scuba. I
Yeah,
was a
'cause
scuba diver, so like that was part
that
of.
was easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just you learned how to do it.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
That was the only part that was.
That
had
won't
to
save
take
you
some
any
time.
time. So, does anybody have anything else on the swim?
No.
So we're going to skip the bike for a couple minutes and talk about the run.
Ooh,
What-
drafting is awesome on the run.
Drafting is also on the run. So
Yes.
the biggest thing I think on the run is the advent of the quote unquote super shoe, right? And when Nike came out with the, I don't forget what the first one was called,
Mm,
the 2%,
yeah.
carbon fiber plate in a shoe and the special kind of foam that they use, P-Bax foam, is supposed to. Originally, they were like, "Oh, it's like a spring or whatever," but the idea is it's just increasing your efficiency on the run, so you can run at the same power or a little bit faster at the same power. And Nike claims now 4% increase in running efficiency, which pretty closely correlates to 4% increase in speed for some people at certain paces. So, have you guys run in carbon shoes?
I have not.
I do.
I thought you have the Hoka carbon plate.
No, I tried the Hoka carbon plate. It didn't feel.
So when I said, has anybody tried them? And you said, no, the answer was really
like I haven't
Yeah.
done any kind of training or run.
Oh, you like put them on in
Yeah.
the store?
Yeah.
Oh.
They feel totally different walking around in them. Versus,
Yeah.
Did you run on
Actually
like a
didn't-
treadmill or anything?
No, I didn't feel that much of a difference.
Oh.
You just stood in them.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't feel,
That's-
feel the difference. Like, oh, they feel
What are you
like
expecting? They're
Any
going to
other
float
shoe.
off that ground?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was expecting.
No.
No.
I had the Hoka Carbon X or whatever. That was my first like race shoe I ever bought.
Yeah.
Actually, my wife bought it for me as a gift. I think that's what I raced in for NJ State and AC.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard to say if it helped or not because I'm still like relatively new to like running these distances, and I didn't have another thing to base it against.
Right. You ran
And
your
you haven't-
marathon in them or no?
No, so then I switched to a nylon plate afterwards.
Uh-huh.
Saucony, I forget what they're called, Speed something, or
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they are, but I don't think, for me, I don't know. I don't really think about it too much because I know most of my gains should be like in fitness.
Right.
And that's what actually all this stuff here is to avoid working and increasing your fitness. And so it's just like adding on something.
Well, the swimsuit, you're not increasing fitness, you're increasing technique, most of the stuff.
Right. But also like you're just you could increase your threshold, like
Yeah.
your lactate threshold and swim. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it.
You've
I
never
don't-
used them again?
Not the Hokas. I think I want to try going back to carbon. So I'm gonna, after this race, I think I'm gonna switch back and see if I notice any change. Because it's not like it hurt my feet or anything. I don't know if that's what. I know they say some people they say don't train in them all the time.
Right,
Yeah,
just
you
race
shouldn't-
in them.
Yeah, you just race in them.
Because maybe who were you saying, was it Lucy Charles Barkley or someone?
She was
having some
injured.
kind
I don't know. Greg said he thought he heard it was because of their shoes, but I've
Yeah, I
read
mean,
articles that say that you
She
shouldn't.
said she was doing like 85 or 90% of her running
Yeah,
in a
in
race
them.
shoe.
You're not supposed to. And everything I've read said, don't wear them. They can cause stress fractures and.
And they're
Yeah.
more expensive too, so I kind of want to make them last.
Well, and they
Right.
don't last long.
They don't last as long.
Yeah, they last like 300-400.
Is it
miles, I
wrong
think.
to feel that you have to be at a certain level to kind of feel like that 4% is helping you? I mean, yes, I get it. You can have a professional shoe and
Mhm.
get 4% of effectiveness, but yeah, I feel like I could. If it's just a few degrees hotter that day, that 4% isn't going to help me that much. Whereas,
Why not? It's
you
gonna
know,
help you the same as
4%.
Yeah. It's going to help you the same whether it's hot or not.
it's going to
If
help
it's
in
hot
the
and you're running
4%.
crappy shoes, then
Not crappy shoes though.
no. But you know what I'm saying? Like if you run in normal
Don't make
shoes,
fun of his shoes.
Not running
Yeah, I
in
mean,
formal
it'll
shoes.
yeah.
it
Dress
seems
shoes.
Penny
I
loafers.
follow this guy on Instagram, and he does periodic tests on all the different carbon shoes, and he measures running efficiency with them. And it's very runner dependent. Like different brands work better on different people. The Nike Vaporflies and the Alpha Flies seem to test best. Most people get the highest return on those shoes.
How much do Vaporflies go for?
I
I don't know,
250.
250,
I
280.
think they might be more than that.
Yeah.
I
not
know
outrageous.
ASICS makes two that depends on your cadence and your stride length.
Yeah. Yeah. I forget which one is which.
It's me too.
The
The edge.
Sky is
and-
for so they do it based on like how you run faster. So if you run
Correct.
faster by lengthening your stride,
Mhm.
then the Sky is the better one. If you run faster by increasing your cadence, the Edge is the faster one or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to do with like the shape of the rocker and where the foam is and heel toe. They put a whole bunch of stuff into it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I've heard good things about that. That shoe also
Yeah.
tests very well.
Mhm.
I've tried the New Balance ones. The thing I notice is it helps my cadence. Like it feels like
Yeah.
I can keep a
You can-
higher cadence faster. Like I roll from my off my forefoot a little bit quicker. Does it change my pace? I don't know if it's psychosomatic or what.
But maybe it does because it makes you more efficient.
Yeah.
Is that what you run in now? New Balance?
I kind of go back and forth because like the Hoka, I'm finding the Hokas just fit my foot better. So I think right now I'm not racing in a carbon shoe, but I think I might get the new Hokas for October's race or anything we do over the summer. I have to try them on because they don't come in wide. That's
Yeah.
my big issue is
It's
I
the
have a pretty
fit.
wide foot.
Right.
But I fit in the size 12. Like I'm normally at 11 and a half wide, but I fit in the 12 normal, the same Hokas that you have with the plate. I've ran in those and I like those. I might use those for Eagleman. I have to see. Because I'm going to run
Eagleman or Wilmington?
Eagleman.
Oh.
And then the new Hokas, I'll see if they fit for Wilmington.
Marilyn, what do you wear?
Brooks.
Brooks?
Hyperion something, I think. Hyperion Elite. I don't know.
Is that a plated shoe?
Yeah.
Carbon?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And how often do you run in those? Just race day?
Just races. And I'll wear them usually like for a run that week or something.
Okay.
Just to
Do you have a shoe closet?
no, but I do have a lot of shoes in my closet.
Are they arranged nicely though?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, because your shoes
It's very
always look
satisfying.
very
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
clean, perfectly maintained.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see this collection. You have to do a video or a photo
Video
first.
of my
Yeah.
shoes, my sneakers.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
Have you always been a Brooks?
No, I was big into Nike. Then I stopped liking them. Like they started making changes, and I didn't like them as much. So I started trying other things. So now I have Brooks. I have Asics. I still have a pair of Nike I like that I run in. What else I have? Those are like the main ones. that I
Okay.
like. Yeah.
I'm intrigued by the Vaporfly though, 4%.
Yeah.
You got to try them out. They don't fit
They
my
just-
foot at all.
And the bottoms seem like the stack height is really
Yeah, I thought Hoka was big.
Yeah, those
No,
are
and
like
it's so, like for me, and
it's
this is
such
a problem.
rocker.
Yeah, the problem I had when I have a pair of New Balance ones that I like, but the heel is really narrow, so
Yeah,
from left
yeah,
to
yeah.
right. So anytime if there's any kind of
You could turn-
pronation, you
mhm.
feel like you're falling in on
Yeah.
it.
I'll tell you what, I think if it's a wet race, you got to avoid the vapor flies because supposedly at Boston,
They're
that was a
slippery.
theory for Kipchoge of why he was not
Oh.
performing as well. He felt like he couldn't lift his leg as high as he wanted to.
Really?
And the runners who did well or beat him, they were all in Asics. And apparently those absorbed less water
Huh.
versus the Nikes.
I want to try those Asics. Those are the next ones I might get.
Yeah.
But I have to figure out what kind of runner I am.
We can look at the numbers and figure it out. All right. Is there anything? I mean, we have a couple things listed here that I think are
What
just
is baking? Can I have baking soda? Why is that on here? Is
Well, I
that
put
whole
that-
thing of eating?
Yeah, eating baking soda or like
How
sport
does
legs
that
is probably
save you
safer.
But that's
It's free
that's for
speed.
anything, right? That's
Yeah, it could.
I mean, all right.
The idea is it buffers the hydrogen.
Then you gotta stop
that
at the
comes with
porta potty.
lactate. Yeah.
So
So
you're
you gotta
kind of
find the right-
losing.
Did Morton just come out with their
Is it out already?
their bicarb
Oh, they did.
solution? Yeah,
So I remember
they're
it was out. They were
it's like
testing
a,
it.
Yeah.
It's like a pudding or something
Oh,
that you
God.
eat.
That's
That's supposed
nasty.
and it's got their
in what?
Remember
like a
we
bowl.
talked about
In
it.
a-
you eat it beforehand.
Okay.
Yeah, and it lasts for they
Like a
encapsulate
yogurt.
they encapsulate the baking soda with like their hydrogel, the technology or whatever, and it slows down how quickly it gets absorbed, so it lasts longer and it doesn't cause that same gut issue
Mm.
that we've talked about with just straight up spoonfuls of baking soda.
It's
Mhm.
probably pricey too, isn't it?
I think it's
Probably.
like $15 a serving.
So
And you need just one serving before a race.
No, it's like size dependent, so some people might need up to 3 servings.
wow.
Yeah, I think I read an article in like Outside when it first came out, and it was just like, this isn't worth it.
It's-
For
yeah,
I think
for what you get.
they measured like a 1% performance
Oh
increase.
God.
I
So-
mean, that's the whole thing with this. All these marginal
Right,
gains.
these are all
you
marginal
add
gains,
them all up.
right? And that's you have to decide how far you're willing to go. We're going to talk about some stuff that will save you much more than 1%,
Yeah.
though. So, sport legs, any of those like lotions, like PR lotion, and all those kind of things are trying to do the same thing. They're trying to buffer lactate and the hydrogen ions that come with it. But I mean, the science is kind of out on those.
I like how you put fitness, but only on the run.
Yeah,
So this one I thought was interesting. The deodorant or lack
Yeah,
thereof.
what does that do?
Or
Yeah, 'cause-
so I don't want to condone not using sunscreen. I think you should wear sunscreen. But the first time I heard this was during the Tokyo Olympics when they did the marathon, and they said a bunch of the runners weren't wearing. It was really really hot for that, hot and
Yeah.
humid.
So
They said a
lots of
bunch of the
sweating.
runners were not wearing sunscreen because I think sunscreen and antiperspirants both have like aluminum oxide or
Yeah.
titanium oxide, and that's what clogs your pores. Like
From sweating.
so you
it's a-
don't sweat as well.
so you don't sweat. So that's the side effect, that you won't sweat as well. If you don't sweat as well, you're not going to cool off.
Right.
And if you get too hot,
Interesting.
so avoiding deodorant or antiperspirant
Yeah.
on race day,
Which is funny. I don't wear antiperspirant.
we know. Oh.
It's like I just don't wear it ever.
I wear deodorant, but not antiperspirant.
Yeah, I don't even know if what mine is. I just use Degree, but I think it's
Yeah,
antiperspirant
it's
in it.
antiperspirant.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
even that's like the least of it. But if you wear sunscreen everywhere,
It's
then
your whole
it's a
body.
lot.
That is a
yeah.
lot. Yeah. So what's the answer then? You wear more clothing that's got
I
SPF
guess.
or UPF, whatever they call it, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. To me, that's I just don't want to be terribly burned.
I
So
know
Right.
because you're out there for. a
But
long
what I'm saying
time.
is, so like if you wear,
Sleeves.
a sleeved suit versus a shoulder, a
Mhm.
sleeveless suit, and the women's suits sometimes have much different leg lengths.
Yeah.
If you pick one that has a little bit, then you're still able to sweat and not put sunscreen on that. It'd be interesting to know like the percentages of how much of an effect that has. But I mean, your cooling is so big. Getting rid of
know.
that, shedding all that heat, especially on the run. Like you don't have as much air moving over you like on the bike. You're most inefficient when it comes to shedding heat on that.
Mhm.
So it could have some major importance.
Yeah, I prefer clothing, long sleeves over like sunscreen,
Yeah.
just because of the sweating effect and just like
You've
cools you
noticed
better.
the sweating effect? Yeah.
I've noticed it, on how it runs for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've never
because I wear
noticed.
sunblock. I wear a lot
Yeah.
to protect, and you just don't sweat as well, and you become sticky and
Yeah.
you're just sluggish.
Okay.
And when I wear like long sleeve shirt, even though yes, it's a long sleeve shirt, I feel better.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, like the mineral kind that
No, I
doesn't
was wondering
have.
if there's like a different kind you can use
like
that
the-
wouldn't cause
I would
that.
think anything that's
They all
creating a
clog your
barrier.
pores.
Yeah, I think anything's going to get in there and potentially block
Okay.
them.
And you have to
Or an
reapply,
oil.
and then you sweat through it.
Oil? What?
Yeah, like oil sunscreen.
Like you mean
I
like,
don't know, like-
sun? What is it called? Where you want more
Suntan. You mean suntan oil?
No, because now they
Suntan
make
oil.
it in oil form that
I mean, I would love to
Like I
smell
said,
that
yeah.
on a while
I
I'm running because
know,
it just makes
right?
you think of vacation.
yeah.
I'm not running.
know.
I'm cooking.
It's like Kramer on the
Crisco.
roof.
Anybody got bacon?
Yeah.
But, so just put some Crisco on.
Oh God, it'd be terrible.
The disappointing last one, the drafting thing. I always thought like, oh, if there's someone else, I'll run behind them. But apparently, it doesn't matter unless you're running 7 minute pace or faster.
Yeah, unless it's
Really?
windy.
Yeah, unless it's windy.
Why is that though? Because wouldn't they still be blocking the wind no matter
I
what?
think it was like a lot of these things
Blocking the-
at a certain speed. The resistance, overcoming the resistance of air becomes the majority of what you're trying to overcome. So at lower speeds, that's not your
It's
biggest
not.
factor, but at a certain speed, that is your biggest factor. You're trying to overcome that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not going at least 7 minute miles, wind is not, or air resistance is not your limiting factor.
Right. Which is kind of goes with some of the stuff I've said with the bike. Like, when should you be in the aero bars? 7 miles an hour is what, like 11 miles an hour, 7 minute miles, somewhere around there, 11-ish.
What?
7 minute miles
Oh.
is 11 miles an hour.
is
Oh,
11.
okay.
7.
Yeah, I was like, wait, oh, okay. I was just gonna.
Right,
I was just gonna.
I might
nod.
have-
60
I might
divided
have-
by 7.
I
Yeah.
knew you didn't get it either.
I might have butchered the way I said it, but
Yeah.
what
Okay.
I meant was
They're converting
7
it.
Got it.
minute miles is
Mhm.
about 11 miles an hour. And they say, like, if you're going less than 12 miles an hour on the bike, like, it really doesn't matter whether you're
Yeah.
in the aero bars or not. It's just not enough of the component.
Hmm.
Because like as drag speed goes up, drag increases exponentially. So yeah, it gets pretty low at slow speeds. But the wind makes a big effect too.
Yes.
If it is a wind, I've had a windy race where I definitely, and my slow pace, I noticed it sitting behind somebody. So it definitely has an effect.
So if it's a windy course, find someone.
I found someone at Independence, and he kept moving over. I was like, "No, you don't understand. I'm not trying to pass you.
No.
Stay where you are."
All right. The bike. It's
All
like a probably $1 billion industry with all this stuff here.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's
probably.
all about being aero.
Yeah, everything is about being aero and limiting rolling resistance, as we'll get to. So we mentioned this before, way back when. You are the majority of the drag on the bike. So
I think 80%.
Yeah.
Your body is 80%.
you're 80%. The bike is
Calling me
20%.
big.
Calling all of us
Yes.
compared to our bike big. So getting into the most aerodynamic position is going to be the thing that saves you the most. And I was absolutely like dumbfounded at how much power you can save by being in a more aero position.
Is bike fit on here?
Didn't you want to do like an aero test at some point?
Oh yeah,
We were
go to the
going-
wind tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you know that there is a track? What do they call the tracks they
A
race?
velodrome?
Velodrome?
Uh-huh. Where they do testing there.
Oh yeah.
So they were saying, so you can go in, pros go in and they say like, okay, I want to test my suit, my helmet, my glasses. And first they put you on the retool
Mm-hmm.
thing. And then they have you do laps around there and they adjust like one little thing and then have you do laps, adjust again.
Yeah.
They're saying it's more real world than the wind tunnel.
Yeah, it makes
Huh.
sense because you're
Mhm.
moving, like you're actually,
Mhm,
and they're
you're
just
actually
working with
riding.
time, you know.
But
and
it's
they
got
can-
to be like same conditions for every
well,
lap.
it's
Yeah, it is.
indoor.
You're in indoor.
Oh, it's an indoor velodrome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That
We
makes
also have
sense.
to have the same energy level for.
but they can normalize for that stuff.
And
Oh.
it's cheaper. Well, they have you go at a certain power. Like you first test your 70.3 power and you do laps at that. And it's going to be that is how you're going to ride for every ride.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's
And-
cheaper than the wind tunnel.
Road trip.
Cool.
Yeah.
Where is this place?
I got to look it up. I have it at
There's
home.
not too many indoor velodromes in the
Mhm.
U.S. There's like Colorado, California,
That's why I was surprised. Like that's why I was like indoor. There's not much around
Yeah,
here.
I forget
there's
where
some
it
outdoor
is.
ones. I mean, you could do some rudimentary stuff like at a outdoor velodrome. If you find a calm day, you could do some stuff. But I don't know how accurate it is. It would be comparable. Like you'd be able to see big differences, especially in position. But I don't know, like down to the last couple watts, it would be hard to measure.
So for the bikes, right, and they've all been getting Arrow over the last, 10 years, 20
Yeah.
years, right? What was their initial Arrow savings? Do you know? And what
Position, 100% position.
and
So if
like
you go
how
back
much?
and look at old school 80s, early 90s era triathlon bikes, some of the first ones, they worked on getting you more forward over the bottom bracket. So like a road bike, you might be sitting 6 or 7 centimeters behind the bottom bracket. Some of the tri bikes have you much more forward, and that rotates your hips forward and gets your whole body able to get lower because like you're rotating around that point. So that was it. They were using the same round steel and aluminum tubing and stuff like that. Carbon fiber has completely changed the game and allowed them to put pieces, make shapes, that are just so
Are
much
we
more
still
aero.
still making as big a gains in Arrow as
No.
we were in the 80s, 90s,
No,
and
not
2000s?
even close. We've hit, as far as frames go, we've hit peak aero. There's not much to save there. The savings are in the integration of parts. So like we're going to talk about it, but like the integrated front ends that have the aero bars all one piece and molded to fit your arms and all that kind of stuff. That's big savings now. And just putting it all together nicely. So it's all one thing and you don't have clamps and you don't have any exposed cables and stuff like that.
Just molding the bike to you.
Yeah.
Show up, bike attached.
But if you're keeping score on savings, they say an aero frame can save up to 20 watts compared to a non-aero
Right, like
frame.
a round tube frame. So 20 watts is
A lot.
damn significant.
But it's one of the least of like bang for your buck aero
Right.
savings.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the least.
Yeah, getting you into an aero position is much bigger because we have on here
Bike fit?
yeah, I mean, Bike Fit is on there, but like Bike Fit is tough. Like,
Is that a proxy for positioning? I mean, if you have the right bike fit, you can get an
but
ideal
there's
positioning.
aero is so personal, like based on your body shape and all that stuff. It's hard, like for a bike fitter to say, like, oh, this is a faster position. Like, there's some generalities, right? But to be like, oh, if we put your hands up, it's going to be faster. That's not the case for everybody. You do need some kind of aero testing to see if that's the case. But even just putting aero bars onto a road bike is, what do we have?
11 to 14.
Clip-on
no,
arrow
31.
bars,
31.
huge.
watts.
Yeah, and I found
Jeez,
I found
really?
other
With
research
aero
that's up
bars?
to 56. Now, so with this data, you have to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. It depends on what their testing protocol is. How a lot of the times the standard is for testing at 50 kilometers per hour, which is 31 miles an hour.
That's really
Which
fast.
we're never
That's
moving.
really
We're
fast.
never moving that fast. So
Downhill while
Yeah.
pedaling.
we're never
Yeah.
moving that fast. So you're not going to see those same wattage savings. You're going to see much less. But the idea is you're out on the course longer, so the time savings might even be more. But just to put in, somewhere between 30 and 50 watts by just putting clip-on aero bars on your road bike and not changing anything else about it.
Why is that? Because your arm position?
Because it's putting you into an aero position.
Okay.
You're getting the hell out of the way of the wind.
Those numbers, at least the ones I found, are compared to you riding on the hoods of your road bike.
Okay.
Yeah. Even just like going into the drops is like a 10 or 15 watt savings. Riding with your hands on the hoods, but your arms at kind of a 90-degree angle is even better than in the drops. But aero bars is the fastest thing you could do to your road bike to make you faster.
So we have tri-bike on here, but I didn't look up the wattage savings. But it's got to be similar then, because that's the whole point. Is a tri-bike has the aero bars, puts you in that position. Going
from a road bike without aero bars onto a tri-specific bike is going to be almost like you're getting at least 20 watts for the aero frame. You're getting at least 30 watts for being in the aero bars. Like any in the integration, like it could be, it's huge.
Also expensive.
Right. And you can't simulate on a road bike, with clip-ons, you can't get into that position that you can on a tri-bike because of where where the angles and stuff are. So the tri-bike allows you to get into that more aerodynamic position.
Do we want to explain to our listeners, do we think they know that what like 30 watts equates to over time, or like what does it really mean for people? Maybe just
Depends, doesn't it?
spend a second
How
there.
fast?
Yeah, it's going to depend because
Yeah, but in a general sense,
There's
30
no-
watts of savings.
It's not equal
you're-
to.
Well, I think if you take it as a percentage of your FTP, you're like, oh my gosh, that's a good chunk.
right. I mean, that is probably the best
Yeah.
way for you to imagine. It's like, well, what would it take you to get 30 watts more FTP?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to tell
Or
you,
like 30 watts over 2 hours or 3 hours or 40 hours.
why does that
like
have anything to do
saving.
with it?
Well, if you now have to generate less wattage because you're saving it because you're now an arrow, you can put out less energy, or you can put out faster speeds or less energy over that particular time.
Well, the watts are the watts. Like I guess the way you're putting out the same number of watts. Like if I can put 200 watts into the pedals, and my position is now using 30 less to overcome drag, then those 30 watts are going into the drivetrain, and I'm going faster.
Yeah, so over time you're going faster.
So you're just instantaneously going faster. It doesn't matter how long you're doing it for. You're going
Like saving-
faster at that time.
Yes, you're going faster, but that means
You're saving your
faster
race
times.
time is faster.
Faster.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I don't have like there's not a this many watts is this much faster.
Right.
And that's
Because the arrow helmet that I didn't say you're saving watts, it just said you're saving this much time
Right.
over this distance.
Mhm.
So that's kind of like another way
so
to think about it.
that's the other thing. So with these all these numbers that are coming out of a wind tunnel are the watt numbers are calculated from drag. They're measuring I think pounds or grams of drag, and then converting that into watts. And like I think it can't be pounds. I forget what the 5 grams of drag.
I think it's grams. Yeah.
5 grams is a watt saved. So that's
And usually when they say like you're saving this much time, it'll also say at this speed.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it depends how fast you're going.
Yeah, there's no clear. I mean, I think James said it best, like compare it to your FTP and say like, I mean, 30 watts for me is more than 10%
Mm-hmm.
wattage saving. That's huge.
I think that's what it comes down to is you know how much pain and suffering you have to go through on like how many sellers 4x workouts do you want to
Oh
do
my God.
to increase 10
Mhm.
watts, or do you want to
Right.
get a pair of
If
Or
you,
shave your
legs
if you
and
even
get those
increase
10 watts
10
anyway.
watts, you
Yeah.
may not even get 10 watts after
Right.
that.
Yep.
And I'm saying don't do the training, but it's like if you're
Or-
doing the training
Or do the training and
plus
this.
And
this,
yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
So aero bars might be, you have to look at the thing. They might be the cheapest for per watt, because like a pair of clip-on aero bars is less than 100. You can get a pair for less than $100.
Pretty cheap. Yeah.
Certain handlebars don't take clip-on arrow bars, so
Right.
make sure you check if your
Yep,
handlebars can
100%.
handle them.
I think the shaved legs might be cheaper.
It might be cheaper.
Yeah,
that's
that's-
true.
that's basically free.
Yeah.
But I did read, other than shaved legs and the clip-on aero bars, I think including the clip-on aero bars, aero socks were like the best watt per buck
Yeah.
savings,
Yeah.
and it's
'cause they're-
proven.
They're very inexpensive.
And plus, it works because there's rules on how high socks can go and certain.
Well, that's only in like road
Cycling
racing, cycling.
races.
So
Yeah,
it
you can
definitely
wear
has an
whatever
effect.
you want. And yes,
So it's not like it's not fake,
nope,
not fake power.
not
It's-
fake power. It's
it's
measured
real.
in the wind tunnel and in real world stuff. Yep, and those are pretty inexpensive. I wore a pair at Independence.
And it says 4 to 8 watts.
Yep.
Did you put them on after?
No, I wore them
I
under
know.
my
When
Under
did
the
you wear them? Oh,
wetsuit?
because I remember when I saw him on the run, I was like, when did he put those on?
Yeah.
I was like, did he have them on?
Yeah.
Were they
I
under
did
your
the same
socks,
thing.
and then you took off your like top socks, and then under them were the aero socks?
No, so I just have like a calf. It's like a sleeve. It goes
Ah.
from the knee down to the ankle, and then wear them under my wetsuit. In T1, I pulled on a pair of socks and then wore the sleeves for the rest of the race.
And you wear them while you run too?
Yeah, they're not tons of compression. They're just like a pretty stretchy lycra. They've got that like ribbed material, kind of like the sleeves on our the Louis Garneau suits we have.
He was just wearing pantyhose the whole time.
So it says 4 to 8 watts faster than shaving your legs, but you
Yeah.
also shave your legs.
Yeah.
Like, could you?
I didn't know if I
not
was
have
going to wear the. I don't know. I don't know if anybody. I'm sure somebody's tested it. I've never found data. on.
Wait, what was your question?
Well, it says the socks or calf sleeves can save 4 to 8 watts, or it's 4 to
It's
8 watts
faster than
faster than
shave.
shaving your legs.
But
So-
what if you do the calf sleeves on hairy legs?
Like, does that mean you don't have to shave your legs?
Yeah.
Yes, because they go over. What does it matter?
Yeah. It shouldn't make any difference. I can't imagine.
No.
I'm saying
the
Greg
amount of-
shaves his legs.
The amount of hair
and
that
he
you
wears.
have from mid thigh
Yeah,
to
that's-
where the top of the calf sleeve is,
Yeah.
Depends on the person.
I think I'm just trying to get to that. Greg just likes to shave his legs.
that's fine.
No.
We'll get
Only
there.
in the summer, though.
Yeah,
Only in the summer.
well, it's because when people see them,
Oh God. Yeah. Whatever. Tell yourself whatever stories you want. That make it up. It sounds better that way. All right. So wheels. There's a lot with wheels.
yeah.
Mhm.
Good arrow wheels, even if they're not full disc, then are a good time savings or watt savings
Yeah.
depending on the wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Lighter, spin faster. Not faster, but spin easier. The hubs.
I mean, I remember. So when I first got my road bike, whatever stock wheels it came with, I found a set of cheap carbon fairing wheels, and
Yeah.
when I put those on, just descending on the same hills,
Yep.
I was
You just kept rolling.
just going faster down the hills without any extra effort.
It's huge. Yeah. And the deeper, the faster. And the biggest thing is the more side wind you have, the bigger the increase is from going to a deeper wheel. So head on a 30 millimeter aluminum wheel versus a 90 millimeter carbon wheel, the difference is going to be big, but not huge. Now you put 10 degrees of yaw or side wind, and the difference is gigantic.
So that's where you save with side wind?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, you still get it head on,
Mhm.
but the biggest differences are when you have a side wind, because what ends up happening in the way the wind interacts with the wheel or the bike or you or whatever is the way it sticks to that thing. And so if it doesn't stick, then it creates ugly air on the backside, and that's where lots of drag comes from.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why like a disc wheel, head on, zero wind, a full disc rear wheel is only going to be a couple of seconds faster over an Ironman distance race than a 90 mil rear wheel or a 60 mil rear wheel. The difference between those three wheels might only be a minute, if that. But you put a side wind on it, and the disc wheel is hugely more efficient and faster. Because it's almost acting like there's some points where you can get positive drag from a disc wheel, like a sail effect, and it'll push you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But you don't
Yeah.
feel like it's going to knock you off the bike?
Yeah.
So here's an interesting. This is important for everybody listening. The rear wheel will not decrease stability of the bike in windy conditions because the rear wheel can't turn. So there's no instantaneous movement of think about the surface area of that rear wheel, right? That's being pushed by the wind. And now put a 6'2", 200-pound person on top of the bike. Which one is catching more wind, right?
Mhm.
That wheel is not doing anything comparatively. Now the front wheel though will move, because it's designed to move. So that's where you do. So you in a really windy condition, a disc in the back actually it moves your center of gravity back and gives you more stability. So you go to a less deep front wheel and keep the deep wheel in the back. So,
All right. I have to
Interesting.
start looking at some disc wheels.
yeah. And if you get a solid wheel, like the one I have it's like a carbon fairing that's put onto the outside it's like a spoked wheel on the inside and a carbon fairing. But if it's a solid disc, it makes this great
Yeah.
whoom, 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 whoom sound that's just intoxicating.
A few guys had it at Independence, and I could hear them coming every time they were coming close.
Yeah.
So then it gets faster?
Mentally it is.
I mean, the
right?
sound.
Yeah.
Try it out.
Yeah.
See what happens.
I would probably have to get the fairing.
Yeah, it's much less expensive that way.
Mhm.
So deep wheels, hugely important.
Next team purchase.
Yeah.
So that's 15 watts.
I get that's probably
At least for
At least.
a deep
Now-
section wheel. I don't know about it.
Is the front wheel more important than the back wheel? Not more
Um,
important. You gain more.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because the back wheel is kind of getting dirty air. because it's already being broken up by your legs moving and stuff like that, the front wheel is the first thing that hits it. So there are big gains to be had by a deep front. And that's, on a low wind day, the deep front disc in the back is going to be your fastest setup.
What's considered deep?
I think it depends on the size of the person. Like, I have a 60 and a 90, and unless it's really windy, I'm riding the 90. But I think Marilyn might mine
are 40, and at Independence I got pushed.
Yeah. So I had the 90 on it. I had the 90 on at Independence, and never, like, one time I remember feeling wind. So,
Rich, what do you have?
I want to say 60s.
Yeah, I feel like those Mavics you got are 50 or 60.
Yeah.
I kind of think 50 to 60 is like what we'd call deep.
I think I only have 50s.
Now, going from a 50, and that's like, okay, going from a 50 to a 60 is pointless. Don't do that.
That's
like,
the same.
if you want to go deep, get 80s.
Yeah, now you're getting
80s, and then you have a set of windy wheels and a set of.
Though I think my road bike's got 60s, so maybe
Probably.
I swap the wheels.
Oh, you totally can. They both have disc brakes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can 100%.
Maybe just swap the cartridge just in case. Or like I said,
save some watts.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see. But then that wheel has a hole in it now, so
That's true.
Yeah.
I guess I can swap the tires.
So, I mean, wheels kind of goes into tires. There's been a lot of kind of research at the tire needs to fit the wheel, and you almost want it to be a smooth transition from tire to wheel to be the fastest, most aerodynamic shape possible. So you do have to kind of think about how wide the rim of the wheel is to pick the size of the tire that is appropriate for that. You don't want to have like a big balloon shaped tire going down to your rim, because then the air is going to detach. And again, you're going to get that drag coming off the backside of it. But you also don't want to have it so narrow that it doesn't fit on the tire properly. So a lot of the times the wheel manufacturers will say, like, this wheel was designed for this size tire. So something to think about, because let's skip over hydration for a second and go right to tires and tubes, because that's a little bit of aero because of how the tire interfaces with the wheel, but rolling resistance, which is like kind of how much power you have to put into the wheel tube system to overcome that frictional drag, can be really big and something a lot of people don't think about.
And is that why the different type of tubes you get the Watch because of the rolling resistance?
Yeah. Yeah. So they've got these 3 kind of tubes that you can buy now. You've got butyl tubes, which are kind of like the black, thick tubes. Those are the slowest ones you can be using, but usually the most puncture resistant, the cheapest, the things you're going to buy at 90% of your bike shops you walk into and say, hey, I need some tubes. They're going to hand you a butyl tube. Then you've got latex tubes, which are more expensive. They're probably, I think I just bought 4 of them for like $15 or $18 a piece. Much more supple, but thinner, so they leak down, like they lose air overnight. And then they have these new ones that I forget what they're made out of, like TPU, some kind of thermoplastic thing, super lightweight, and almost as good as the latex ones for rolling resistance. Very small though, like they roll up to like almost nothing. They're great to put in like your spare parts bag.
I was going to make a joke, but
I wanted to keep talking because I saw the joke formulating in your head. Go ahead. Was it about latex?
Yeah.
Are you a latex salesman for Vandalay Industries?
I was going to ask when you said what's the third type, but you already answered. So I was wondering if they make them out of lambskin.
Wow. Blast from the past, huh? And then there's also tubeless. Tubeless is you don't lose anything with rolling resistance by going to a latex tube. So it's not anywhere. So tubeless
and latex are equal.
Kind of equal. The thing though is that the tires that are made to take a tube are going to be a thinner, more supple tire. So they're probably going to have less rolling resistance than a tubeless tire. So overall, you might actually be faster with a latex tube over a tubeless tire.
Oh man!
But we're not talking.
You
But,
just
but
But
then
you're
switched
not
over.
carrying replacements.
right.
Oh,
but
the
you
weight
don't-
savings.
The weight saving. Well,
Yeah.
but the tire is heavier.
Ugh,
So it's almost
But
a
it's minimal. What do
zero
we
sum
have?
game at that point.
yeah.
5 watts.
The biggest difference is making
wheel.
sure you are using a good fast tire.
Yeah.
Like that's huge because so I looked this up. BicycleRollingResistance.com is a I swear to God,
What a
That's a
specialized
thing.
website. That's awesome.
They literally just test the rolling resistance of all different bike tires. So currently the best tire out on the market now for a road bike is the VeloFlex Record TLR. So that's tubeless ready. Only costs 6.3 watts per tire to move over there. Then they run it on like a drum. Not on, so these aren't like real world numbers, but at least it's comparable. And then the worst on their list is the Maxxis Refuse, which takes 24.6 watts per tire. So you're talking
Wow.
about
That's a big difference.
18 watts
Wow.
difference per tire. So 36 watts by switching from a all road winter tire that's
more
made
like a toughness.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's like so many people you see riding on Continental Gator skins. They're like the worst. They're like 18 or 19 watts per tire.
I gotta look at what I have.
I have that
not
on
Gator skins.
Jerry's old bike he let me
Well,
borrow.
because people like them because you don't get flats on them.
Yeah.
They're bulletproof.
So whoever borrowed that for the PB Tri last year, I'm sorry. you had gator skins on there.
Yeah. But I mean, when you think about that, like if you're giving up 20 watts
That's a lot.
That's a
Per
lot.
tire.
for tires, and tires are consumable, right? You're already buying new ones. Like put good rubber on your race tire, on your race wheels. These ones that are 6.3 watts are unbelievably fragile.
See, that's the thing.
They are.
Yeah, so it's
You
like
could be
balance.
faster, but if you get a flat,
They are
Yeah.
Then-
a go for broke tire.
you just have to hope for the best
hope-
conditions
right.
possible.
You're going someplace that you know is going to be smooth roads. Tubeless, you're using sealant. Like I'm not going to say you're probably going to be okay, but like
Mhm.
the hedge your bet. Like, or if you're going somewhere with crappy like chip sealed roads, like that's not the tire to be using. So you give up a little bit, go to like something like a Continental 5000 or something like that is only a watt or two slower, but a little bit more robust.
Are you guys
think
tubeless on
that's
your
what
tri
I'm
bikes?
Using.
You are? Okay.
Mhm.
I'm not.
Your latex?
I'm latex.
I'm not tubeless on.
Are you butyl?
I don't think so. But
Are the tubes black?
Yeah, they're either black or red.
they're black.
Butyl.
Beautiful.
So there you go. You could be saving
Get some
Mhm.
latex.
some latex
Yeah.
tubes.
I
You
could
save
get
a
some
bunch.
latex tubes.
Latex tubes are a little bit more not difficult to install, but like the chances of getting a pinch flat when you
Pinch.
install them are a little bit higher.
Careful.
So you can just be careful. Put some talcum powder on them.
Sure, Greg will help you in the hotel room.
Shouldn't do it the day before the race.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not.
And then figuring out optimal tire pressure. The width we talked about with the wheel. I think that's wheel dependent. And optimal tire pressure. The old school thought was pump them up as high as you can. But then like you're bouncing and that's losing efficiency. You want the wheel to be stuck to the ground, always in contact with the ground, and you'll be fastest. So there's calculators on there, like Silka is a company that makes a lot of high-end fancy stuff. You punch in the numbers like what size tire you're using, what the road surface is like, how much you weigh, all that stuff, how much the bike weighs, and it spits out a number that's pretty close to spot on. And then you play around with that, a couple PSI plus or minus. But that could be a big difference.
So if you just had your stock road wheels on all-purpose tires with butyl tubes, if you did all this stuff with optimal pressure, I mean, you're looking at like almost 40 watts here per wheel, like 40. So 80. You're looking at up almost 80 watt
That's
savings
insane.
on a
That's
good
crazy.
setup.
And here's like with that stuff, the bigger, like the smaller you are, the more important that one is. So it's not like the speed, because when you think about like you're overcoming that frictional thing, right? You
gotta
everybody
push.
has to overcome that same amount. So like if Marilyn's got an FTP of 190 and I have an FTP of 275, we both have to overcome the same amount of frictional losses.
It's
But
like
for
mainly
her,
like
it's
gravity.
a huge
Mhm.
percentage of, it's a
Yeah.
bigger percentage. So like those are things that are like everybody needs to. People are giving away time if they're not taking care of those things. So we said one. No.
I know.
Okay,
He
so
didn't.
no, that's true.
I did not. Yeah.
Next one, hydration and nutrition. Where we put it?
That's a big one too, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Because actually, they say like you can have this most aero frame ever, but then your water bottle just negates almost all
Right.
those.
I mean, so
Or lack of, because putting them in certain spots also helps.
Yeah. So I looked this up. Aero Coach, which is a company out of, I think, England. They make really cool aero bars and stuff like that, do a lot of testing. They found that the worst spot you could put a water bottle is on the down tube.
Yeah.
It costs about 8 watts when it's on the down tube.
How much do you think that speed fill costs us?
It's not a
Like
lot.
100 watts?
I think it costs a lot.
It's not the most aero. of
Yeah, it's
things.
not.
Even if it's an Arrow bottle.
Well, okay, so 8 watts is with a round 500 mil bottle. It's a little bit more if you go to like a big bottle. The seat tube is a little bit better. It's like 4 or 5 watts. The best places to put regular bottles are either between the arms
In the back.
or behind the seat.
Yep.
I think I get better
And
at putting
actually,
it back.
between the arms, better than a regular bottle is the which is the one that we have,
The X-Lab
yeah,
torpedo.
torpedo. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just can't fit enough is the thing.
Exactly.
Or I gotta get really good at the handoffs.
Handoffs.
But I don't trust.
know,
Like I
but
need
then,
it.
and then you got to fill it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to
it's all
fig-
stuff to figure out. But in either between the arms or behind the seat is less than a watt.
Mm.
The Aero bottles that go on like your down tube and stuff like that are much better than a round bottle, but not as good as between the arms
Mhm.
or behind the seat.
And the speed fill is not very.
I mean, it's an arrow shape, but it's as big as a suitcase, so that's the problem.
Yeah.
And the weight.
I mean, if you
that
don't
fill
carry
so
any
much.
water bottles or do any hydration, you'd be super fast but super dehydrated. And
Yeah,
super
so that's the
pathetic.
thing, right? Like I can't risk
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
dehydrated and then cramping. And then
Yeah.
the good thing about the speed fill is you can stay theoretically then in arrow
Yes.
the whole time because you're
Exactly.
just
Mhm.
Yeah.
tubes right in your mouth.
Mhm.
So I mean, you can negate some, I guess,
Right.
loss with positioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a balancing act, right? You still have to take in hydration and nutrition.
Mhm.
You just have to figure out the most efficient way to do it. So,
You don't have to stop as much with that thing.
Oh. I was actually thinking with that speed fill because it comes with zip ties and it's annoying
Mhm.
because then when you take it off, like, you gotta cut the zip ties. But I was thinking, I need these
No.
Velcro straps.
No. Oh, I'll show you what I have to attach the tube. You mean?
Yeah, to like
oh,
your.
I got it. I'll send you a link to it.
I just this.
You don't need to zip tie it.
Look.
I know. There's a thing that we'll talk later.
Okay. All right. I was thinking now I'm gonna use like these Velcro straps. Like I could buy some. I'm like,
No.
wait, there's 2 right here.
Well, your
Uh,
race is coming up, but yeah.
I think the best thing is the stuff that's built into the bike, though.
Yes.
Nobody's bike has that, though, right?
No.
Built into it.
It's in
Yeah,
the
the
frame.
Canyon has it in the frame.
Canyon has it built
Oh, like
in.
when it's like at the
My
bottom
next
and
bike.
Yeah, or it's got a bladder that like
In the frame.
slides into the
oh,
frame.
Specialized had that.
Specialized did it.
It's tough to clean.
No.
Well, I think the Canyon
You
one,
take
like
it out.
the whole bladder comes
Yeah.
out and you can
Mhm.
clean it.
All right, I'm too lazy to clean. Let me rephrase that.
Okay, fair. Yeah, so I mean that's going to be the best thing when they're built into the bike. Same with like the new tri bikes are doing a good job of like integrating all that stuff. So they
Yeah,
got
the
like a
wires.
built-in, right? The wires are all internal. The
Tools.
tools,
Mhm.
storage space, food storage, all that stuff is built into the bike. That's going to be the best thing for you.
All right.
Anything else other with the bike? Like the actual bike.
Mm.
Oh, you've
Oh,
got
yeah.
like all little.
Yeah, I got the little-
You do got the little.
Yeah, the
they're
chain.
super expensive.
Oh.
These are the marginal gains that
Yeah.
when you figure it out per dollar per watt saved, it's pretty ridiculous. But again, in the full disclosure, these are all the marginal gains. So
Yeah.
what do we got,
Mhm.
James?
We got waxing your chain
Mm-hmm.
versus just traditional lube.
Yep.
Could be a 6 watt savings.
And that's decent.
6 watts.
6
So what?
watts.
Yeah.
It's not 0.
The absolute best benefit to a wax chain, though, is not getting grease marks all over your hands and calf when you.
Or your leg, like I always have.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No rookie marks.
Yeah. I get them every
It's
time
a
because I lean the bike on my leg.
Lean it on the
The
other
other
leg.
side.
It's so weird that like
Because I unclip on the right leg.
certain bike shops just won't do wax.
It's a long process, though. Like half an hour, isn't it, at least?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it has to soak for half an hour, doesn't it?
No,
No?
a couple minutes.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah. The biggest thing with waxing your chain is getting it clean in the first place. So even from when you buy a new chain, it has the factory grease on it. You need to strip that off, strip it down to bare metal. Wax sticks really good to the bare metal. It doesn't stick good to the grease.
How long have you been a chain waxer for?
Maybe a year and a half or so.
Oh, that's it.
Maybe 2.
I thought
But
it was
yeah.
for a while. Like you
No.
knew about it for a long time.
I knew about it for a long time. I didn't take the leap.
And then you converted Rich into a chain waxer?
I think just
I
on your
wanted to
tri-bike.
go, to wax because it was cleaner and
Yeah.
I like cleaner. And so when we changed the tri-bike over, I definitely switched to wax. My road bike's still not waxed.
Still lube?
Yep.
I've got 2 chains waiting. But that tool, the link tool, not the breaker, but the connector.
Quick links.
Was like back order or something. Not even back. Like Amazon Prime, like get it next day. But this was like.
But if you bought new chains, don't they come with a quick link?
Probably, but don't I need that plier tool to?
Oh, I have the pliers.
Oh, I thought you told me to get that.
No, I told you to get quick links.
Oh, you told me to get quick links.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you told me to get the.
Well, I mean, it's good to have. You need to have those,
Yeah.
but
Okay, well,
we don't need to stop. We don't need those to stop us from putting the chain on.
All right. Well, I don't know. I feel like it's too close now to the
Okay,
race.
just wait.
Maybe I don't know.
That's like the least.
6 watts though.
That's
6
like the
watts.
least thing that you should. Like, if you want to change it over, change it over. It's not.
Yeah,
The
it's
least
not a
thing to fail.
Clean drivetrain. That's a big one.
Yeah, another 6 watts.
Yeah. Dirty, greasy, gunked up drivetrain is no good.
Now I've always
Take
seen
care of your
those
bike.
oversized pulleys like in shops and like
Yeah,
was it
Maryland.
Strama
I have
Speed
one.
or
Maryland's got one.
I
they
have it on my
spin
tri-bike.
forever?
What? No.
Don't they? It's like on the display they would show you like you spin
Oh,
that thing and it's just like forever.
Yeah, I have one.
But I was disappointed to see 1.5 watts.
If you go on Ceramic Speed, they say it saves more than that. But
The company
not
that
much
sells
more,
them
but-
says it saves more than that.
Well,
huh?
they have independent testing.
How much do you know? How much they say?
I think it was like 2 to 4. Not much difference, but 2 to 4.
What made you want to get that?
You can be honest.
I first saw it on Lucy Charles' bike,
Mm.
and I thought it looked so cool. And then I researched it. This was when I was getting my bike, and then I asked the bike shop, and they were like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "All right,
What color is yours?
red."
Red.
Team colors.
Powerful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Angry.
Badass.
Not angry.
They're
our
cool looking.
colors.
It looks really cool.
It does look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So ceramic bearings are going to have less friction. That's where you
Mhm.
get some of the savings. Drivetrain efficiency, less sharp corners that a chain has or turns a chain has to make is more efficient.
But it's also bigger diameter. Like, does that
The wheels, the
Does
wheels
that, like-
Feels
themselves.
bigger.
give some sort of leverage
No,
advantage? Like, why is it bigger?
It's intimidating
so that
to
the
other
chain's not making
Mhm.
as acute of a turn.
Okay.
Like the normal 11 tooth or 12 tooth jockey wheels, the chain's making lots of sharp bends, and that's losing
I see.
energy.
Do you use the same length chain then with that?
No, you have
No,
to
bigger.
put a bigger chain or longer chain. So, but again, marginal gains, but gains nonetheless.
So I think that's everything we had written down on the bike.
Yeah. Then we've got like little
So
stuff on you.
you
right?
keep talking. I'm gonna
Helmet.
try to add this
We're
up
gonna
real
try
quick.
add it up.
Are you gonna add everything?
Up to this point.
Some of it is repetitive.
Helmet.
Yeah, helmet's decent. And this one is a tough one because if we're talking like full on tri helmets, a full tri helmet period is going to be faster than a road bike helmet with all the venting and stuff like that. But the differences within the different brands of helmets is so unique to each individual rider and their position that the only way you're going to know if it's a fast,
You
like
test it.
if the Giro Arrowhead versus the Rudy Project Wing is faster, is to test it.
And it depends on your position too. Which
100%.
one's better for you?
100%. You basically, what you're trying to do is you need to close the gap between your head and your back. And whatever helmet's going to do that the best is going to be the fastest for you. The one we have, Maryland, usually tests pretty well in real world. It might not test the best in the tunnel, but in real world where you're not always in the same position and you're moving, those shorter tailed helmets tend to test a little bit better.
And surprising, I read that the visor is not faster. It's faster if you wear glasses.
Really?
Yeah.
It's more
Don't
surface
know why.
area, I'm guessing.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, you'd think it'd be
but-
smooth and
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's.
I mean, glasses are definitely better than no
makes your
glasses.
face like somewhat bigger.
Yes,
yeah, but like your head isn't changing shape. The
Yeah.
visor is
it's the size of the helmet.
right. It's the
But
size of
it's
the helmet.
Making you to the
Yeah, but
size
that
of the
wind
helmet.
hits your face and then goes where?
Goes back.
Sideways and hits the side of the helmet. So if there's a visor there, it's going to push it to the same spot.
And actually, I read it, and then in that velodrome
For
testing,
all helmets or just the one we have?
I don't know. It didn't
Okay,
specify.
'cause I
No,
do
no,
know-
it wasn't specific to our helmet.
Oh, okay.
It was just in
Yes.
general.
I do know that some helmets test better without the visor.
Okay,
That's
so
for sure.
maybe that's it.
Okay.
Because in that, it was also mentioned in that velodrome testing that I read about.
Yeah. Send me
They-
the link for that and I'll put it in the show
Yeah, they'll
notes
look
so
at it.
everybody
Okay.
can look at them.
So all the bike add-ons or whatnot
Yeah.
was like 130 watts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
So-
lot.
Yeah.
Well, the wheels themselves, right? 40.
80. Well, I mean, that's
60.
making
2
2
wheels.
wheels up to,
Yeah.
but 130.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about like if you put somebody on a top end tri bike versus a standard round tube road bike with crappy aluminum box section wheels and
It's a
Conti
big
Gator skins,
difference.
they don't stand a chance.
Yeah. And so for me, when we do all this exercise and speed, I don't actually really care about like being faster. I actually enjoy more the energy savings, so I can use less energy
And go fast.
and then go faster on the run. Like not have to put as much effort on the bike to hold the same time I could have
Right.
at the same effort level, so that I could save it for the run.
And I mean, another thing to think about, and if you're saving, if we start talking about huge watts, like you're somehow saving 100 watts, right? Like let's say you're doing an Ironman on a road bike versus an Ironman on an optimized tri bike. You're out there for an hour less, right? Like that means if you take your tact, like how many less calories is that, right? That you can now use on the run. Can you now push a little bit harder on the bike and make yourself even faster? Like, because instead of trying to figure out what power can I do for 6 hours, it's what power can I do for 5 hours? Well, that's a different number, right? So it doesn't just make you fast. Like it's huge. The potential is massive.
I think I think just right now I'm not as like mature on the bike yet. So once I get more comfortable and I could start putting down more power confidently, then I'll switch over to just getting faster. But for now, if like I could just save my legs, any little bit, because I feel like it'll definitely pay off on the run.
Yeah.
But there's always that potential to once you're in the groove and then just start pushing speed. I was watching, I forget who it was on the PTO, the European on Ibiza. The guy was going like 34 miles an hour. Like he was just cruising at like 34 miles an hour. It was nuts.
And you watch them, and they're just pedaling like I was watching them today. They pedal so easily, but they're putting out so many watts.
Yep. It's kind of nuts. Clothing. I didn't know this number, James. Each
I know.
wrinkle is about 1 watt.
About.
I'm losing like 100 watts.
Well, even like I noticed that
Now
with
when we get the new
the
suit.
suits that I
I need
had,
the new
like the suit
suits.
that I have, like when I'm in aero, there's like a little pocket right at the chest, and I'm like, well, that's just a scoop, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like a parachute.
Yeah.
My mini fanny pack may have to go. I mean, it's got to be several watts.
You don't wear that on the race, do you?
I do.
Oh my god!
So I think that the take home message you want your suit to be as second skin as possible. It
Skin
needs to
tight
be
as possible.
smooth, and in the position you're going to use it in on the bike. Sometimes it might actually feel weird when you're standing up in your suit, but then when you get into the bike position, it feels the way it's supposed to. I notice that sometimes like really good high end bib shorts that you put them on and you're like, and then you're on the bike and you forget they're even on. So
We got what?
So like you're riding and you're like Am I riding naked? Is that?
I think you
I don't,
just, you're
I don't think that's ever
feeling-
really gone through my head.
Like,
Well, you'd have to be shaved too
You're
then.
feeling so many other things. You're not really feeling your suit, I feel
Yeah.
like.
yeah, so you know, snug, no
Mhm.
wrinkles.
Is the material, I mean, optimized too? Like
Yeah.
the surface? Like I
And,
like
be.
and even like for
Mhm.
the position where the material is on the suit, like, so the sleeves are on your arms. That's going to be a different material than what's on the legs because your arms aren't moving. So like that's a static position. The wind's flowing over that in one way, where your legs that are constantly moving are a different way. That fabric can be a different optimized fabric. So yeah, you know, it's not just if your suit is all one standard Lycra material, it's probably not all that fast.
So the cheapest way to get the most bang for your buck on a suit is to just get the smallest one you can possibly fit into.
Probably.
That's kind of what we did. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
Which was crazy because we were all trying on those new Zoot suits. And I was like, am I a medium or am I large? I couldn't tell. And then Greg fit into anything between medium, large, and extra large. But it was really the wrinkles. Like extra large would be wrinkly, large had some,
Mm-hmm.
medium, no wrinkles.
No wrinkles.
I mean, maybe if I really want to squeeze into small, I don't know. But,
Too
but
late.
then
The
like
order-
you're like,
the order
I'd be
is
like hunched
in.
no,
over.
you should get a small.
No, the
I'm
order is
surprised
in.
like that zipper technology in those is probably
well,
amazing.
we don't know about that yet. You know, 5 hours into a race, who knows what might happen in that
That
zipper.
little thing, like as long as you fold that thing down, it's
Yeah.
like holding you in.
Yeah.
Like it does not. But as soon as you release it, it's like it
Yeah.
just opens up.
Yeah, it's like my swimmers at school who like get their tech suits and they're like, you know, I would normally wear a 28, but get me a 23 tech suit. And I'm like, really? And then you hold it up and you're like, I don't know about that. I had this one swimmer, her mom had to go in the locker room with her to help her get into her tech suit.
She's not
Like,
allowed in there.
shoehorning her into
Safe
it.
sport. She's not allowed in there, even though it's her mom. No adults.
Okay. This wasn't USS meet. It was
Oh,
a high
okay.
school meet. It should be the same rules, but whatever. She's out in
Trouble.
college. Yeah, so nice tight suit. And I think any of the high end suits are going to be pretty darn good. Better than a standard suit, way better than a loose suit. But again, if you really want to optimize, the only way you're going to find it is in the tunnel. And it's going to be specific to the rider and their positioning and stuff.
So on the flip side, there's no point in spending hundreds of dollars on a really nice suit if it's oversized. Like if you
No.
get the wrong size,
No.
you just wasted.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
I'm waiting for them to come out with like the hood for the helmet, so you have the suit and then you put it over the helmet, like they do in speed skating.
Yep.
Oh. Oh my God. So hot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows what comes out next?
Random tidbit about Aero. I forget which helmet company, probably Giro. There was like from the, I don't know, 70s, 80s or whatever. There's like this original helmet they sell as almost a novelty. You can buy it for like $60 or something. But it just has no holes. It's just an old school
Gator
helmet.
helmet.
No, it's like
Oh,
yeah, like a,
But that's like one of the most Aero helmets
kidding?
for the price
Huh.
because it has no holes in it.
Yeah.
No venting at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
So for bang for buck, if you want, you can still buy it. They keep it because they have the molds and
Uh-huh.
whatever. They still sell it as like a commemorative item, but $60 or something gets
Okay.
you the most Aero helmet possible.
interesting.
Or not most Aero, but
Yeah.
very Aero.
Right. Then so we're talking like the helmets. You have the full on time trial pointy helmets. And then you have like the Aero road helmet, which is kind of a happy medium. If you're only going to have one bike helmet, that's probably the way to go, is to get one of those.
So you guys both got the Rudy ones,
Yeah, we have the Rudy, the wing. Is that what it's called?
and Rich, you have the Giro.
Giro.
Right. You've got like an Aero road helmet.
I have an Aero Road
Yeah.
helmet.
So
I
that
like
gets
the
you
fit.
like,
I like the comfort.
yeah, it gets you most of the way to an Aero helmet. It just doesn't really close down that gap between your neck and your,
Yeah.
your back.
Yeah, just the fit of the ones you guys have just didn't fit me.
So
And plus with these helmets, all of them, if you're not in the right position, you're negating the benefits too, right?
You
Yeah.
could always wear
I
it
mean,
backwards.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're sitting up, you're with an Aero helmet and
doesn't
the
do
point
anything.
is just pointing straight back behind you, you're getting very little benefit from it.
But even with like you also don't want your head too far down, right? Like you have to have it
Yeah.
just right.
Right. So I actually most of the time have to like put in a probably a very unsafe position, push my helmet back on my head a little bit. So like my forehead probably is not covered as it should be with a helmet, but
Mm.
that puts it on my back.
I don't have the confidence to wear one of those helmets yet.
Why
That's
not?
fine.
It's a helmet. What
Yeah, do you
confidence
see
do you
what we look
need?
like?
I know.
The rest
No,
of
that's
the
more like
other
that, what
crap
we look
wear?
like. I mean,
Yeah.
it's already been a big step to wear spandex, but then if I go with the full Spaceballs helmet,
Yeah.
Huh.
All right.
or I'm not fast enough to wear that helmet.
Yeah. I think that's nonsense.
It's not about the
Nonsense.
fast enough. It's about the watts.
Yeah. Save the
True.
watts, man.
True, that's all this stuff here.
Mhm.
I don't have the confidence. I don't think I can pull it off.
We look goofy as hell doing what we do anyway. So
Yeah.
it's fine.
You could always be the woman we saw wearing it backwards.
Yeah, just don't wear it backwards.
Maybe she knows something.
Sure, a
and,
whole different study.
and is this our last one?
Arrow shoe covers.
No. Shaved legs?
Shaved legs.
Mm.
It's not the last one, but
No.
I'm amazed though by
Right?
the shaved leg numbers.
Yeah.
So if you shave your legs,
What?
11 watts, arms 4, so 15 watts shaving your legs and arms.
Yeah.
That also is. It doesn't specify. It depends how much hair you have on your legs.
Right.
'Cause
Yeah, I'm not that
I
hairy.
don't think you'd be saving.
So
11
I saw
watts.
just
no offense.
It's true.
just a couple of days ago or weeks ago,
My arms.
GCN, yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
tested. The guy shaved a beard, and
Oh.
that had like a 1 or 2 watt difference. So he's like,
Well, small surface area.
Right.
Too.
but he did not have hairy legs. They were not bushy in the least. And he saved at 30 miles an hour, he saved 17 watts. And at 20 miles an hour, he saved like 8.
So what I heard is not necessarily that the hair is causing drag, which is some of it. It's smoothing your skin when you shave it.
Mm.
Then it's like a much smoother surface for the wind to move over
Mm-hmm.
because our skin is very rough microscopically.
Yeah, but the hair has to be
So you would have to shave it like that day
Yeah.
to really get
day,
benefit.
yeah, day of.
Or maybe just
Day before.
exfoliate a lot. If I just like really
Yeah, but
scrub.
You got to get rid of the hair too.
I wondered, and I'm totally non-scientific, if like putting sunblock or like the stuff that just smooths
How
out
about Vaseline?
or
Just
whatever,
lube it up.
Vaseline, right?
Yeah.
Looping
But
it.
that
will
goes
that
back
make
to
you
that goes back to then you're not sweating properly.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it makes you probably more. The air passes
Slippery.
over. Yeah,
Mm.
slips right through.
Baby powder?
No.
No, that's going to
Just
create
shave
more.
your legs, man.
Yeah.
I think we could bring a couple wax strips on our trip.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Ugh.
Just-
Make it a fun little.
I don't know what kind of fun you're looking for.
So with those video clips that we do.
Yeah, I just shave your legs. I shave them for the summer, late spring into
Just once.
no, a couple times a week. Just I don't know. Sunscreen goes on easier. Road grime comes off easier.
I don't think I ever look at your legs, so I never even notice.
Right.
So.
I have not.
It's not
I've
like-
never shaved my arms.
Yet.
Yet. I don't know. That would be like a race day kind of thing.
Yeah,
know,
so
like-
race day decision.
So for someone who's going to shave their legs and arms for the first time, what are your tips?
I think Marilyn's probably better at giving advice for this
Lots
than
of
I am.
shaving cream.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I use clippers, like hair clippers.
Yeah, because you got to shorten it first.
Right. Shorten it, go down to a 0, get most of the hair off. A couple of fresh razors.
Yeah.
More blades, the better. Go get the ones that are made for shaving body parts, not face. I like personally, I'll put a link in the show notes, the Schick Intuition. They come with like a little bar of soap around the blades. And so you don't need to use shaving cream with them.
You still can.
I'm sure you could. But
Wait, you said
It's like redundant a little bit.
shavers meant for body parts, not your face?
well, yes,
They're like
I know your
women's.
face is about like a women's.
Oh, they're a
Um,
different shape?
yeah.
Like a women's
They have more,
razor?
I think they have like more pivot to like
Mhm.
get around curves
Okay.
and stuff like that.
Okay, so I shouldn't. Okay, I gotta get.
You don't. I mean, I wouldn't. You could use I've used like a Mach 3 or something like that.
Yeah, I've used that. too.
But like I shave my face with a safety razor, so like I would not use that on my legs.
Safety razor like a straight blade? What's
No, like
That's the exact opposite of a
Home
safety
Depot
razor.
blade.
like the old school double-edged razor blades that like I don't know, it's
Oh.
a big metal contraption, so it's
Oh.
one blade.
Oh.
It's called
Yeah,
a
that's-
safety razor.
But it's not really safe.
Well, it's safer than what you're
Straight
talking
blade.
about, the straight blade. Yeah.
Okay, one step safer.
But yeah, so I don't use that on my legs. And then the biggest thing is moisturize afterwards.
Mhm.
And
What's your go-to?
whatever is sitting on my
Like-
wife's dresser.
Should it be like cocoa butter or
Any kind of moisture.
Aloe?
I don't know.
what's more arrow?
Not aloe.
Yeah, I
Doesn't
wouldn't
matter.
use-
It soaks into your
yeah,
skin.
it soaks
Yeah.
in. You just want them. Yeah,
Okay.
you don't want to get dry because they'll dry out if you don't. And then it is a good idea, especially for like I don't know whether this is a women's thing too. Like some kind of exfoliating scrub
Yeah.
helps prevent like ingrown hairs and stuff.
I think
Do
we've got
that
a whole other
before.
episode to do on this.
Before or after? Wait, when is
Before.
this?
Oh,
I do it before.
okay.
Exfoliate first.
Then
Then I'm going to use my clippers.
Mhm.
Then I'm going to use my women's shaver razor.
See, I'll use the
with plenty of shaving
exfoliator
cream.
like before I like
before you shave.
before
yeah.
the shave.
right. Like I'll do the first shave,
Yeah.
and then before
Then
each other
exfoliate.
time, I'll
What is this exfoliate? Like an actual
Like a
scrub,
scrubby.
or
Yes.
is it
It's
a?
got some grit to it.
Is it a liquid
Hilarious.
exfoliant?
liquid?
It's like a
No,
liquid-
It's like scrub. It's like
Right,
it's like,
a pumice.
Yeah.
Like a pumice.
Like a
Lotion.
sponge, or
No,
No.
like a lotion with grit in it. Like you know,
oh, you just rub that on your leg?
like what's the stuff in the shop? Like the Gojo
Uh-huh.
hand cream, like that.
But you're just rubbing that on with your hand,
Yeah.
or you're using like a tool?
No, you.
The tool
right now,
is rubbing it on.
Right now, I think we're the tool. Yeah, no, you just rub it in. It's a
Okay,
lotion.
so just rubbing it in. So you got exfoliant now all over your legs.
Here, why don't you just FaceTime me when this needs?
It's not just for me; it's for everyone
FaceTime all
else
of
out
us and
there.
record it on YouTube.
Okay, so
Oh,
now
I'm
so
dying.
you've got exfoliant on your legs. You wash that off.
yes.
You don't shave with that.
No.
You don't put the shaving cream right on top of
No.
that.
No.
Okay, so you exfoliate, wash that off. This
You
is a
didn't-
long
I'm surprised
process.
you didn't ask how long you exfoliate for.
I mean, yeah. How long do you just lather it? Is it lather?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
What brand do you use?
I don't even know.
Whatever they have.
CVS
Doesn't matter.
brand.
But sugar is better than salt.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Because salt dries your skin.
Sugar. Ugh.
Mhm.
like a sugar scrub.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, actually, I think my daughter's got jars
I'm
of this
sure
stuff.
they have
Probably.
it. I'm
Yeah.
sure you have it in your
Yeah,
house.
I've seen them stacked in the back.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna take one of those. And then
do
you,
it all in the shower. It's just there.
yeah,
Use
shaving cream.
theirs.
Well, I'm probably have to bring it with me,
Oh,
right? Like I should do it
at-
like the day before, so it's like you have the smoothest skin possible.
or just well, you should probably practice because you're going to show up to the race.
You're gonna cut
freaking
yourself.
bleeding
Actually,
all
I was-
over
I
the
was
just
place.
like gonna say he's gonna have like
Actually, I should
scabs
do
all
I
over.
should do the rough cut first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rough cut
Mhm.
or
first.
the first shave too. If you do
Yeah.
the first shave like on Monday or Tuesday, then
You're gonna have to shave again by the
you
weekend.
shave again on
No,
the
no,
weekend.
no. Like this is me not shaving for a week on my face. Like, I could probably shave
Mm.
my leg now, and I won't have to shave again next
Possibly.
year. All right.
All right. Any more questions? Because we're getting close to 2 hours.
I thought
right
we
now.
just
Oh
covered
my God,
exfoliating.
what?
Yeah.
He didn't even
2
start
hours.
shaving
Shaving
yet.
cream,
he didn't even
shave,
apply
and
the
then
shaving
moisturizer at the end.
Yep.
And you
then
do that
I'll
day
tell you
before
this.
race.
This is going to sound when you slide into your sheets to go to
Oh,
bed
mhm.
with freshly. It's like the coolest, the best feeling in the world. I swear to
He's
God.
not wrong.
I'm
Yeah.
comfortable enough
Mhm.
with my manhood to say that is a
Huh.
phenomenal feeling.
I might try it early just to feel that.
See,
So like on a nice summer day and the AC's
Oh.
blasting and
Yeah.
the sheets are cold.
Nice.
Like,
yeah,
Mhm.
that's a
you
good
slip
feeling.
in, man.
Mhm.
Oh, it's so good.
do you shave your armpits?
No,
Okay.
I don't. I got a suit on all the time. So.
Yeah.
And like I said, I haven't done my arms.
All right. Well, 15 watts. It's worth it.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yes.
I wonder if that's, yeah, that's got to be
10
it's
watts
legs,
at 20
so
miles
it's like,
an hour. So
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's not nothing. You know, it's worth doing. And you worked hard to build those leg muscles, man. Show them off.
I have to tan them up too then. These like pasty white legs.
My legs get real white when I like sneak myself into thinking
Blinding
like,
people.
oh, I'm kind of tan, and it's like now you just kind of have like light brown leg hair. You get rid of that. It's like, oh, what's up, Casper?
Yeah, we just blind people with the glare off our
Yeah.
legs.
Yeah.
Well, I thought this was interesting though too. That everyone knows drafting behind someone saves a lot. And then there's this number. You can't draft in these races, but if you're 30 centimeters behind someone, you could save like 150
That's,
watts
That's only a foot, so that's
Yeah.
that's
on
close.
someone's wheel.
But I wonder where that number, like, how fast are what are they doing to go that speed, right?
It's
They
probably
got
the
it.
pros.
Okay, so then they might be like if they're doing 450, then I totally buy it. Like I hear stories about like like the Peloton, where people are sitting inside a group of 200 riders,
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
the people at the front are working as hard as they can to go 30 miles an hour, and you're doing like 100 watts behind, just getting sucked along.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, if you can get like 150 watts, and I average, let's say, 150 watts on an easy ride, like,
You
can
don't
I
have
just
to
not pedal? Can I just?
Well, when I ride behind, like in the middle of all of you guys, sometimes I could stop pedaling almost. Like I could take breaks pedaling and I'm still going the same speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said just even being in a group. So if you're not
Yeah.
even if you're drafting right behind, just being in a group of riders, you're going to save. But this interesting thing was if someone's just behind you, you're saving 12 watts because they're creating that
You're in a
smoother
pocket.
airflow
Right.
behind you, and you're
Yep.
not getting all that disturbed air that's, I guess, creating drag. So
Right. So a group will ride faster than an individual could, even if that's one person rides on the front the whole time. Yeah.
We did say that this doesn't make sense for the tries because
No.
you can't draft them.
Can't draft.
Yeah.
Except, I mean, okay. This is like, is it the spirit of the rule or the letter of the law? Like so the pros, they are not allowed to do this. But when it
Passing.
comes to passing, I believe you're allowed to stay directly behind the person.
for
For some
20 something seconds.
Well, you have your time to make the pass. The pros, once they're within whatever like 12 meters, right? Once they're within 12 meters, they need to be to the side from 12 meters until the pass is made. I don't know if that's the rule for us. I think you're allowed to come up behind the person,
Then
go to
pass.
the side, and come back around them.
And so going behind them, you think
You-
For
gives you
that
You get a
12
little bit-
meters, are you getting something
get a little
measurable?
pull
Makes it a little bit easier to
to pass
actually
them.
make the pass because you're surging probably to make a
Yeah.
pass a little bit. Again, does that add up over the course of 56 or 112 miles to
Maybe.
something measurable? Maybe.
if you're constantly passing and
Mhm.
constantly staying into the wheel of someone in front of you.
Yeah.
Could.
I have to check the rules because I'm almost certain that that's the big difference between the pros and the age group drafting rules. Because I think somebody like last year, Sam Long at World Championship 70.3 got a drafting penalty, and that's what they said he was doing. Like he wasn't getting out of the draft zone to make the pass, something like that. But I think age groupers are allowed to.
Interesting.
So, anything else? Because that's been
I'm just going to try to toll this up real quick.
I'm just gonna say
752 watts.
you have here half a watt for saddlebag. If it's the size of your saddlebag,
Delete. Saddlebag, delete.
Yeah, get rid of
I
your
know,
saddlebag,
delete.
save a watt. And a half.
You
No, that
have
was-
to delete a lot, way more than
That was
half
my
a watt.
bento box, which was a bento suitcase.
Oh, that's right.
But I could draft behind it, so that was fine.
Arrow shoe covers. I would think your shoes are arrow enough,
Well,
Now
you're
you
only
got the
getting
buckle thing.
a watt and a half.
but it's
You know.
still a lot for
Again,
what?
these are like margin for just
Mhm.
smoothing the airflow.
hmm
I feel like your shoes are just arrow.
I think we got everything.
So it's about
Maybe.
40 watts with the clothing, the helmet, the shaved legs.
You don't need to pedal at the point that he's adding up everything. It's like between the bike, the arrow position, and the
Well,
wheels.
That's
I
funny.
mean-
Like
and
sometimes
you don't need
see,
to pedal.
These are the kind of things where like you'd see huge differences between what we could all go around at the end of the day after racing and be like, okay, what was your average speed and what was your average power, and see massive differences between somebody's like, oh, I did 20 miles an hour for 140 watts, and somebody else does it takes 220 watts to do that same speed. And it's
depends on your
all some
size.
combination of all of these different parameters we've talked about, plus your size,
And
plus
your
your
size is a
position,
big one.
plus all the there's so many different variables. But we've talked about a bunch of really good spots where you can make significantly measurable gains and make yourself faster.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
potentially 200 watts of total savings here
Right. Going
versus like like if you were going out. I actually didn't even include the suit because it's like a loss. But
yeah.
if you're wearing a loose kit or whatever, there's even more. But
Well, I don't know what you have. That's the thing. Like none of these talk about like skin suit at 15 watts. Like what is that? What's the baseline? What are they subtract?
Mhm.
That could be a loose average fitting kit. Not a.
They're also using speeds that are pretty high.
That's true. All these
Yeah.
numbers are going to be less for the speeds that we're
Mhm.
moving at, but they all kind of scale pretty much the same. So if it's
Yeah.
like a third less, it's going to be a third less for everything.
I think I read at 30 miles an hour, most of what you're trying to overcome, 90% of what you're trying to overcome is air
Is
resistance.
air resistance.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah.
most of the major savings is above that 30.
Yeah, it's because I'll always get this wrong, but like to increase the speed by a factor of 2, drag goes up by a factor of 3, and something goes up, the power to overcome that drag goes up by a factor of 4. So like to go from 20 to 30 miles an hour is a ridiculously difficult increase. Where to go from 10 to 20 is not that same thing.
Yes.
So
I concur.
yeah, it's really hard to ride a bike 30 miles an hour on a flat road. But with all these, marginal gain savings, maybe you can do it.
Yeah, I think the moral of the story is you just do all this stuff. Anyone can do triathlon, no problem. I mean, just sign up for
Spend all the
70.3
money
right
on the Arrow,
Yeah, spend a lot of money.
and you
And
don't
that's-
have to have any fitness.
But some of these things are not that expensive. Some in the grand scheme of things, shaving your legs, it doesn't cost very much.
I mean, it depends on the cream you use.
So
And the razor, some of
Yeah.
them are expensive.
you got to buy tires anyway. Like get fast tires. You got to, when you got to replace your helmet, get one that's a little more aero. Like all those little things don't really cost you any more over what you'd already be spending. Like yes, getting a tricked out tri-bike now costs crazy
Over
amounts of money.
10 grand.
Yeah.
Tricked out.
The super bikes,
Fully tricked
Yeah.
out.
I mean, the thing with the super bike, like a lot of them though, is it's the group set. Like going from Shimano to Dura Ace isn't going to make me any faster. Right. But it's going to cost $4,000 more,
True.
So that's not going to be a huge difference.
Well, 5 grams is a watt.
5 grams of drag is a watt. No, not weight.
Oh,
5 grams of drag, not weight.
so we didn't even talk about
We didn't
that.
talk about weight
Mm.
because honestly, weight makes so little difference.
Yeah, it's more
On a flat
it's all
course,
air resistant.
on a flat
still.
course, it is so small. I played with it and I was like, I have like, I forget what the name of the website is now because I haven't logged on to it in a while. Best Bike Split, and you can play and like you put in your numbers and you can say like, okay, now show me what would happen if I lost 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds or gained 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds, and it's like 20 pounds is less than a minute on a flat course like Eagleman. Yeah, it's now on the run. It's
nothing.
different.
Yeah.
So in my favor.
Well, that's why when you see like cyclists who are like riders for the flatlands, like they're big dudes because it's all about how much power can you put out. It's not about being light. But then you go into the mountains when gravity has an effect and it's these 120 pound dudes. So yeah, we didn't talk about weight, but there's so much out there that you can save. Do a little bit of research. When you need something new, replace it with something a little more efficient, a little bit more aero, a little bit faster. And, over time, you'll get to be a lot faster.
Yeah.
Plus the fitness gains you get. Yeah. Don't look at it as a way to supplant fitness and take it easy. Look at it as a way to like complement it.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anything else to talk about? I don't want to see this roll over to 2 hours.
Yeah.
Oh,
It'd be good for your
Sounds
2-hour
good.
trainer ride.
Next week.
Yeah, I'll try and edit it really fast.
Yeah, send me a copy real quick before it comes out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, folks. Thanks for listening. Let us know in the comments of your favorite aero hack or way to save some watts. And we'll talk to you next time. Next episode will probably be our Eagleman recap, right?
Mhm.
And also let us know in the comments how you comment on the podcast because I couldn't figure it
I
out.
can't figure it out.
I
I
don't know
think
if
you
you
have
have
to
to
be
do
in
it.
the
You can't?
Apple podcast.
I was on Spotify app and I was like, wait, I want to
There's
comment.
nowhere to comment.
yeah, I don't think you can on Spotify.
So it's
Oh.
on
It's
Apple.
garbage.
Okay.
All
I'll
right.
take a look.
Because I was trying to put a vote in for Team Oyster. And then,
Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
All right.
You could find us on Instagram and send us a message.
Yeah, send
Yeah.
us a message on Instagram.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right.
the next level quad pod.
All right, folks. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks, everyone, for listening to the Next Level Quad Pod. We really appreciate you spending time with us and listening to everything that we have to offer. If you like what you heard, please leave us a review and a rating. Those little things go a long way towards us being able to bring you more content like this. If you'd like to learn more about what we have to offer, please go to our website at goteamnltry.com. There, you can find out about all the different things we provide that can help you reach your athletic potential. Thank you again for finding time in your busy schedule to spend some time with the Quad Pod.